Now it's time to wake up. Kincade and Salciunas is on the air. Broadcasting live on the Fanatic app and YouTube channel. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Yes, we are here on this Monday morning. A Monday morning where we get to say, for the first time in about 6 weeks, Johnny, your Philadelphia Phillies are above 500. Phillies complete the sweep of the Pirates yesterday, 6-0. Beating up Paul Skeens of all people. They sweep Pittsburgh and are now 24-23. They had not been above 500 since after they lost to the Giants on April 7th, which made them fall to 6-5. They were 6-6 the next day, and then they went downhill. And now
everything went downhill from
24-23, Johnny.
That's a beautiful day. You had asked, could they do it? They did it.
They did it.
They did it. I said the minute the final out went, I sent you the tweet the other night. I was like, you asked, could they do it? They did it. They did it. It's an incredible thing.
Yeah.
What the Phillies did is historic. 21 seasons has a team lost 6 series in a row and won 6 series in a row.
No way, really?
In the same season. Okay, 21 baseball seasons. So we're talking a generation. That's a generation.
Yeah.
Has a team lost 6 series in a row in the course of a whole season. And then in the same season, won 6 series in a row.
Unbelievable.
And the Phillies did it. Do you know who the hitting coach was for that team that did that 21 years ago?
Donnie Baseball.
Yes. Don Mattingly.
His magical hands.
How about that?
You got to start playing the music early, man.
You got to.
Magic Mattingly.
Yeah.
John Kincaid's love affair.
How about just that wake up song? You know, that's just wake up. Will we start the show with? That sort of is what Don Mattingly does to a baseball team. He tells everybody that.
Did Rob Thompson play lullabies? Didn't Dusty Watson manage this weekend?
Yes. I think he did. I think Rob Thompson did. I think he must have. It must have been an absolute lullaby because this team is better in everything. Everything since Don Mattingly's taken over. I mean, all the little things, they're better.
Except Aronola.
They're just better. No, I'm not talking about an individual. Okay. I said this team is better. There's no measurable. You're going like, well, they're not as good as this under Rob Thompson. Look, Rob had served his purpose. He served his purpose. He did great in 2022, taking over for Girardi. But he had fallen asleep. The man had fallen asleep.
A change needed to happen. And they did that. And then they dug out of this hole. Look, when going back to the day they moved on from Rob Thompson, we were talking about the schedule and how it opened up. Ricky Bo comes in here and goes, by the way, I'm not surprised they did it now because the schedule lightens up a little bit. Bottom line is they were losing to those teams before the firing of Rob Thompson. That is correct. Right? Like,
yes, let's not forget that.
They dropped 2 of 3 to the San Francisco Giants when Rob Thompson was still the manager. They were losing games in embarrassing ways to the Washington Nationals. So spare me the schedule. And look, I'm somebody that pointed out the schedule, but you got to win baseball games. And ever since Don Mattingly has taken over, they take care of business sweeping the Giants. They take 3 of 4 against the Marlins. They take 2 of 3 against the A's. They take 2 of 3 against the Rockies. They take 2 of 3 against the Red Sox, and then a sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
So the Mattingly sandwich has been 2 sweeps and then 4 series wins in the middle. It's nice. It's nice. Kevin Stocker with a great explanation, too, of what Don Mattingly does. And Don Mattingly, every single day, works with every single infielder individually. So, like, one day it'll be Harper. One day it'll be Bohm. One day it'll be. So it's not every one of them every day, but it's an individual session on here's what I want you to do. Here's what you're not doing correctly. Here's what we could do better. They do base running. They do base running drill and they do base running instruction as far as before every single series as far as part of the scouting.
Yeah,
it's just interesting the amount of detail.
It almost looks like they had to be reschooled or recoached on how to play the sport of baseball. Like,
you know why? You know why? Because the manager that they had before, he sat there behind a microphone and goes, "Did you say anything to Bryce Harper about that?" No. Bryce Harper knows. He knows what he did wrong. When people are doing crap wrong at work, and you assume that they know that it's wrong,
Right.
and then you don't correct them, and you don't hold them accountable, they keep doing it over and over again. When you bring someone else in, oh, by the way, a baseball Hall of Famer, and you bring him in, and you say, okay, you're going to take over now, somebody like that, you bring him in, things change. Accountability changes. Responsibilities change.
I think accountability also changed where they realized they got a guy fired. I think that's part of it.
It mattered to some of them. Others, they didn't even take responsibility for it. It's one thing. I'll get on JT for stuff. JT took responsibility for it.
Schwarber took responsibility for it.
Harper didn't.
Harper was the only guy.
Harper didn't. No, there were other guys that didn't either.
We were waiting for this.
Harper didn't.
That was an insane thing.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So the Phils get the win. So our question for you at 610-632-0975 is whether or not your Phillies' attention is back. And attention for all the right reasons. Like, I'll be honest, I kept on watching when they were 9-19 because it was that car wreck.
Also, we have to.
Yeah, I know,
we do
I get
our
it.
job.
But, like, look, there was Sixers and Flyers were both in the playoffs at the time. I could have very easily said back burner. Like,
yes.
I'll read up on the Phillies tomorrow morning before the show.
And you love the NBA playoffs a lot, so.
But the car wreck was so like I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was so bad, and the way they were losing each game, it was either the bats were dead, horrific fielding, bullpen implosions. There was just one thing after another, and so much has changed. And now they're above 500. So is your Phillies' attention back for the right reasons? I'm not saying fandom, attention, where you're putting the games on almost every single night. You're not watching just for how bad can this get. Like, you're watching for all the right reasons. Are you starting to believe that this good club can now get back to being a competitive club? It's one thing to be good. It's another thing to be competitive. They were not competitive despite the roster being the exact same way. So let us know. 610-632-0975. Is your Phillies' attention back? Now, Connor Thomas is back after his trip in Boston.
What's up, boys?
Hope you had a great time.
You
looked
loved
horrible on the
TV?
on the broadcast.
It was cold, man.
Yeah, you looked extremely uncomfortable and miserable. Not even the Fenway Magic seemed to put a smile on your face.
Hey, listen, they won the ball game. Kyle Schwarber put a smile on my face.
Damn
He's been
right.
doing that a lot recently.
Damn right he did. Well, you missed Friday, so let's go through it. Tennessee is Commanders week 1, W or L?
That's a W.
All right, Commanders week 2.
Yeah, it's a W.
So John Kincade said something on Friday that I said, okay, I need to save this. Because on Friday was not only reaction to the schedule, but it was also the day after the Bob Myers and Josh Harris press conference. So there was a lot of moving parts going on.
A lot of moving parts.
Connor, we have 2024 John Kincade again.
Oh, let's go, Johnny. I like it.
He has not said put it in Sharpie yet. Plans NFC Championship weekend.
But I'm very close.
But, dude, he was oozing confidence on Friday, and we didn't really have enough time to really open this conversation up. But I'm curious, Johnny, same number, 610-632-0975. Confidence level after seeing the Eagles' schedule. Go ahead, John. I want you to speak to Connor. I heard it on Friday. Some of our audience may not have heard it on Friday. Maybe they weren't listening. But I know Connor wasn't listening, I hope.
Connor, I have every bit of confidence. I'm going to tell you that not almost. I have as much confidence looking at just how things lay out for the 2026 Eagles as I did going into the 2024 season when I told you that you had plans for NFC Championship weekend to host a pregame show. Connor, January 31st, pull out your phone, put it on your calendar. You have plans to host a pregame show on January 31st for the NFC Championship.
Oh, you went one step further because you weren't there yet Friday.
I'm there.
I'm available that day.
Okay, you are available that day.
Yeah.
By the way, the game is 6:30 on January 31st. The Philadelphia Eagles will be in that game. That is as far as I will take it.
Okay.
Because I do not know how the rest of the NFC plays out as far as who their top competition will be. I do not know who the AFC competitor will be to say, guaranteed they're a Super Bowl champion. The Eagles will be playing on January 31st at 6:30 in the NFC Championship game.
I love that.
Put it on your calendar. So, Connor, I guess pregame from 3 to 6?
I'd imagine so.
I don't know if it'll be here, though. I can't tell you that yet.
Could be a patty
might
wax.
go.
Could be a patty wax again. Let's run it back.
Could
That was-
be.
that was
I don't know
fun.
what it'll be, but there will be it's 6:30 p.m., and I have secured that over the weekend. It is the 6:30 slot. They will play January 31st, and hopefully we will have plans on Valentine's Day
That'd be nice.
for a Super Bowl 61 appearance.
I'm sure my wife would be thrilled.
Yes, which is in
I don't know, where is it?
Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. That's a nice spot. That's right.
It
We were
is.
talking about, that'd be
is.
tough to do morning show out there.
Los Angeles.
So I love your confidence. I don't feel it this time.
So how far would you go?
I think that
I've taken it to. I feel confidence where I'm going. I will take it to the NFC Championship game. I am confident the Eagles are playing January 31st. The next weekend before that is January 24th, the divisional playoff weekend. Are you confident the Eagles will advance further than last year?
Yes.
Well, then you take it to there. I don't think that's bad.
Last year, they were dead last year. Connor, it randomly came up on Friday, this scenario where they rested the starters week 18 and
And it blew it for them.
John was popping off. I was like, I don't even know if they beat the Packers. Like the Eagles were dead. And so were the Packers. So anything could have happened. But the Eagles were dead at that point. I don't think this time around we're going to be talking about the dead Eagles. 0% chance, right? That's what I was saying that in freaking November last year. 0% chance that they were going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think we'll be having that same tone, that same conversation. I don't feel that same. When you said it 2 years ago, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm with you. I was with you. You were the one that was leading the charge. I was with you. I'm not there right now. I got to see how this offense looks for 5 minutes before I start talking NFC Championship game.
Well, we'll have more on that in the course of the show today.
Sure.
But I don't need it. I don't need it at all. I think that this team is not only supremely talented, I think they've gotten one of the me guys out of the locker room. And I think you're going to be surprised at how, team actually matters. And I think it's going to work well.
And look, if Mekhi Lemon is the stud that a lot of people think he's going to be, then you might not miss a beat. If he's not, you could talk about me guys all you want. That's still 1,000 yards that you just kind of lose. Like, he had 1,000 yards in a bad year last year.
Oh, he did.
You know what I
did.
mean?
But the thing is, though, is that you're not losing. Here's the thing is, let's say Mekhi Lemon would you feel comfortable saying Mekhi Lemon 500 to 600 yards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the aggregate.
Then you're talking about 400 yards being spread amongst now number one receiver, Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert maybe getting some more.
Mhm.
A young tight end that you've just brought in, getting some. I mean, you're talking about, and then
and
you have
Dontavian Wicks, who they're
and you
very
have Wicks.
high on.
So to me, I don't see any problem going, what are we doing with 1,000 yards? More importantly, I know that there's not going to be a guy who, when the team is 4-0, is going to be bitching about the fact that they didn't get theirs enough, and they're upset about theirs, so they're going to be going to their Instagram page to put out cryptic posts because they're bitching about their personal goals and agendas. Because I know this, Jalen Hurts doesn't do that. Devontae Smith doesn't do that. Dallas Goedert doesn't do that. Saquon Barkley doesn't do that. I have a feeling the breath of fresh air will be team matters, not those two initials that will now be living in New England. Those initials.
I thought he wasn't getting traded.
Which should be
Fake news.
Which should be me. His initials should be ME, but they are actually AJ.
So, Connor, when you hear that level of confidence, I don't feel. I'm sorry, John. I would love to be like arm in arm.
Well, you're only 1 week behind me. It's not like it's not like you're confident.
I mean, you're like
in them.
oozing confidence. I'm like, I don't feel that.
I'm confident they're in the Final Four. You're confident they're in the Final 8. I think that's where our poll question is going to have to go today. Are you confident? Last year, the Eagles they didn't make it to the Final 8.
No, they were.
So where do you see it? Where do you see it falling? I mean, to me, Are you confident they make the Final 8? Are you confident they make the Final 4? I think it's too early for people to say they make the Final 2.
The Final 2? Why not?
But it's,
screw it. Go Birds.
Yeah, it's a little.
Eagles.
Final
you
one,
heard that
Super
this
Bowl.
week.
I heard it a lot yesterday out at Aronimink.
JM on our YouTube chat. I went into 2024 thinking Jalen was going to throw for 4,300 yards and execute a great pass game. I learned my lesson. There's no all-Madden line this year to fall back on. We'll go as far as our great defense will go, but our below-average offense will take us. So maybe divisional round if we avoid the Rams and Niners.
Wow.
I don't – oh, man, the offensive conversation's a great one. He says below average, which last year they were. Statistically, they were. Like, it once you ignore the names, last year they were a below-average offense. This year's going to be really interesting, man. Like, as we continue to go further into this offseason and we get closer to the start of the next season, like the Jalen Hurts conversations are going to be fascinating to see where people are at because Kevin Patullo sucked last year. There was worries about Patullo going into it, and it played out horribly. But the offensive line being so banged up, who are they this year? Like, there's so many conversations that we're going to have leading up to it. And you are this confident right now.
Yes.
I mean, I love it for you. It's great.
I'm really this confident, and I'm more confident at the fact that I'm just saying to you is that we are talking about a team that now is going to be a team. That's what I'm confident about.
So A.J. Brown being traded is confirmation the Eagles are going to the NFC Championship.
No, I already think that they're a supremely talented team that highly underachieved last year because they had incompetent coaching. That I was being told by people to chill out about all summer. Oh, my gosh. You're so worried about Patullo. Look how talented they are. They're the Super Bowl champs. And, yes, I kept saying it over and over. Yes, I'm worried about Kevin Patullo because he's a buffoon. He was a buffoon, and they gave him the job. I was worried about it. I'm not worried.
He helped build the Eagles Super Bowl, though.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, he is doing the victory tour. I got buddies of mine down there at QA. He's very positive. He's talking a lot.
In case people don't know, Ken Patullo
talking a lot.
Works with the Dolphins. I don't even know what his official title is.
Is he a pass game coordinator?
Something like that. And he was asked about what he did with the Eagles, and he took a lot of credit.
He was there for the building.
He took a lot of credit
Connor,
for that
building from the beginning. I was building it from the ground up. Like we were building it from the ground up. I was there for it all.
Yeah,
you were there.
I signed the final paper once without doing any work.
Who had the Egg McMuffin? Who had the McGriddle? Who? Two creams? Or 3 creams.
Yeah, but look, Nick Serriani would back that up.
Yeah, his boy.
That's why he wanted him to be the offensive coordinator.
His boy. You know what? There are people in life that you will know that take people who very kindly take people along for the ride with them. They say when I get there, Michael Vick is the biggest example of this I've ever known. Someone who said, when I make it, I'm going to take you along. And he did it to his detriment. Michael had people that he just literally had on his payroll that he took along for the ride of his life. He accomplished everything, and these people had no jobs, nothing. They just lived off of Michael, and he thought he was being kind to them, to take care of them, and to say, I'm going to share my love, my wealth with you, everything. And it ended up bringing him down and sending him to federal prison. It's the same thing that Nick Sirianni did, but he brought our franchise down by giving the keys to Kevin Patullo, which was stupid.
Hopefully it bounces back this year. So Phillies and Eagles on the table at 610-632-0975. Phillies-related question, did they get your attention back? All right? Not did they get your hopes of a World Series back or your expectations of a World Series back. Just did they get your attention back? Because if anybody shut them off at 9-19, I don't blame you because I think they shut themselves off at 9-19, and that's why they needed a managerial change just to wake up. And here we are now on May 18th. They're about to begin another series with the Reds, and they're finally back above 500 for the first time since April 7th, 24-23. Is your Phillies' attention back? And our Eagles-related question, does anybody have the same level of confidence that John Kincade has? I mean, John Kincade looked at the schedule Friday, almost went 13-4, even though he's anti-W's and L's.
And by the way, I may change that. I may change it Like, I may go to 13-4. I feel that good.
May go 13-4.
May feel that
and
good.
is under the impression that January 31st.
No, it's January 31st. Connor's got a pregame show. It's on the calendar. Put it on the calendar.
That's the NFC Championship game, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have this same level of confidence as John Kincade? I don't. But I believe they win the division, and they're not going to get embarrassed in a first-round playoff matchup like they did against San Francisco. Not embarrassed. They just looked dead. I wouldn't say that was an embarrassing loss. It was just same old, same old. The way they lost the game against San Francisco was the way they lost, like, the last 5 games.
Sure.
Hopefully that's not the case this time around. All right, 610-632-0975. Number you can climb in. Davis Honda text line. Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. You can leave voice memos. You can call in as well. Also, coming up next, we have multiple fandom-related questions today, like 1 an hour that will open up to try to get some more conversation going. The first one involves a chant, and I think you know which chant I'm talking about, especially if you watched 5 seconds of the PGA Championship in Philadelphia this weekend. That comes your way next here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, let me tell you, today I will be out with my friends from Dan White and Associates. They're having their annual golf outing. It is fantastic, and it benefits the Granting Others Dreams. So Dan White and Associates has been doing this now for 18 years. Granting Others Dreams is an amazing, amazing charity. God is what they call it, but it meets the financial or physical needs of individuals and families that face difficult life circumstances beyond their control. So there's say loss of a job or disability, or there's a major accident in the family, and then through this foundation, they manage to step in and say, hey, we can pay the mortgage for a couple months. We can take care of maybe replacing that car, doing things like that. Simple acts of kindness. And Dan White and Associates, since they've been part of the community for 4 decades, loves to do these kind of things. What they also do is they specialize in retirement and financial planning. So not only do they care about the community, but they care about you and your financial future. If you'd love to have a conversation with Dan White and Associates, I think you should. You can get your complimentary no-risk consultation by checking them out at danwhiteandassociates.com. I'm honored to be today with them at their 18th annual charity golf outing, benefiting Granting Others Dreams. 18 years going strong, being able to help out in the community. Hopefully, it'll be a huge, successful event as always. So make sure that you take care of your financial future and take care of everything you can with Dan White and Associates. Go to danwhiteandassociates.com on the web.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Pirates. I'm Connor Thomas. The Phillies' hot streak continued over the weekend as they swept the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Phillies pitching held the Pirates scoreless for 18 straight innings to round out that series, including a complete game shutout for Christopher Sanchez on Saturday. Yesterday, Zach Wheeler's 7 shutout in the 6-0 win. The Phillies offense tagged Paul Skeens for 5 runs in the victory. Bryce Harper talked after the series about Christopher Sanchez and just what he's done to lead this rotation.
He's been great, man. I think he's on 29 scoreless right now or something like that. So super impressive. I mean, he's a dog, man. Every time he goes out there, we got a chance to win. When he's going, it's very impressive.
Now it's back home for a series with the Cincinnati Reds. It starts tonight for Citizens Bank Park. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. for the now over 500 Philadelphia Phillies. Nick Lodolo on the mound for Cincy. Andrew Painter goes for the Phils. The Sixers search for their next president of basketball operations continues. We'll keep you updated on any names linked to the job. With the NFL schedule officially released last week, next up for the Eagles will be OTAs. They start next week on the 26th of May. And in local news, well, golf news as well, Aaron Rai won the PGA Championship at Aronimink yesterday. Scott Lauber of the Inquirer joins us coming up at 9:05 for his reaction to the Phillies turnaround. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
This hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
It is 6:30 on this Monday morning. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Monday after the Phillies complete a sweep of the Pirates and are now 24-23, above 500 for the first time since April 7th. Eagles schedule released Thursday night, reaction Friday morning, and John Kincade was talking about the NFC Championship game, and he has already penciled it in.
January 31st.
Is it pencil? Is it Sharpie? Is it stenciled in somewhere?
This is the official. If Sharpie ever wanted to advertise with us, the Sharpie Fine Point. Always get these from Santa Claus every year. Little big pack of these babies.
Oh, ho, ho.
It is. Love the Sharpie Fine Point. Yes, it is Sharpied, which means it is, that's in. Connor cannot make plans that day. He's got a pregame show because the Eagles will be in the NFC Championship game.
So
I'm not going. I'm the only reason I'm not going further than that is I do want to see a little bit more, but I know where they're going to be at. And the reason part again that I feel this way.
I mean, you're saying that's the only reason why I'm only going that far is because I want to see more. You're saying
because
the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, because I feel it. And when I did this a couple years ago, people did treat me like I was nuts.
Oh yeah, you got a pom-pom shaker already.
And they won the Super Bowl that year. So what I would tell you is you can take a sock and you can stuff it in your big fat mouth.
So MBD.
That's what I would say to you, is because you said the same thing to me 2 years ago when I said this to you, and you went, oh, no, pom-pom shaker, Eagles fan. And the Eagles won the freaking Super Bowl.
Well, that was 2 years ago. You could you could be going senile.
So what I'm going to suggest is that this time you put your listening ears on and you listen. Now, look, I'm not predicting the last two wins. They still would have to win an NFC title game and win a Super Bowl. But they're going to be in the NFC Championship game.
MBD would like you to answer a question on our YouTube channel.
I would be glad to because NBD is a good fan.
Says, I have no idea how John could be so confident. Half of the offensive line was blood doping this offseason.
They were not blood doping.
He says, look, I'm not trying to be negative, but just law of averages. We're kind of due for a horrific injury season, aren't we?
Well, first off, that's not what the law of averages says. So that is not as a study of statistics and fan of it, that is not what the law of averages says. If the law of averages says the Patriots and the Chiefs and everything wouldn't have had dynasties, so that's not true what the law of averages says. The Eagles had their injury season last year. The Eagles were ravaged by injuries last year.
Played through it.
I'm not in the least bit. And also, I can't predict injuries. Now, injuries could, crazy injuries could derail this. I'm actually of the belief I'm thinking it'll be a much happier season for us.
That would be nice. Well, I already expect it just because of the offense.
Healthier, happier.
Probably won't be less happy.
Yeah,
you got to imagine.
But
right?
NBD, I understand where NBD's coming from, and he's an intelligent fan. So and you very rational thought most of the time. But again, for those of you who are going to poo-poo it, I told you 2 years ago, and I guarantee you the same keyboard warriors that will poo-poo it are the same ones who poo-pooed it 2 years ago, and then at the end they were probably at the parade. So I hope they enjoyed my insights.
I'm with you, but I'll poo-poo it right now.
Okay.
I think 90% of this fan base, if Sean Mannion walked by them on the street, they wouldn't know who the guy was.
That's understandable.
And it's tough to take that. Like Kellen Moore, at least when he came in here, had a track record in that position of success.
Right.
Like, we're going off of what we've heard on Sean Mannion. Like, I want to see it before I'm talking about NFC Championship.
I don't think that is Connor. I don't even see that as you poo-pooing it.
Okay.
Like, I don't think that's poo-pooing it.
Then cancel the poo-poo.
I think that's very reasonable. Like, that's very reasonable.
Look,
that's a very reasonable reason. What I would tell you is, and I'm going to make this case as in the course of the show today. There are reasons for doubt for every single team and every single contender.
Sure.
And what I also believe is the Eagles have a far easier path.
That's fair.
Than that, not only in their schedule, but their division than other teams have. I think the NFC West is going to be more of a cannibalization, which is going to make them have a harder path. I think the NFC North is going to be a cannibalization where they have to sort of pick on each other more.
I do believe each team in the NFC East will be better this year, though.
I do believe that, too.
And I don't mean like by a game. Like, I think each team's going to be.
Wow.
I don't think. Remember last year, my big.
How much better?
My big confident statement last year was that the Eagles would win the NFC East with ease. Like that, the last couple of weeks, we wouldn't be saying, all right, man, they really got to win this one. They got to win this one. They won it by what, 3 games last year? Or was it 2 games last year?
I don't think did they win it that easy?
They rested week 18. It had to be relative.
Yeah,
it was
games.
the end, but week 17 and week 18 were sort of a joke.
Yeah, no, they were 11-6. The Cowboys were 7-9-1 in second place. So that was my bold prediction was they win the NFC East with ease last year. They did that. I don't think it's going to be like that this year.
And I think
week 17, week 18, we're talking about.
I told you I believe the last week of the season they will be playing for something. Mm-hmm. When we did that the other day, Connor, I said last week of the year is going to mean something. And hopefully this year Nick Serriani understands that the last week of the season, when it means something, you actually play. You actually pay attention. And you play for it. But then again, everybody can learn from their mistakes, and they can learn.
They weren't winning squad.
So maybe they can learn. Yeah, they were going to beat the Green Bay freaking Packers. Yes, they were. Who were horrendous.
You say that as confidently as you're saying that they're going to the NFC Championship game this year.
I do.
Connor, do we have any immediate reactions on the Davis Honda text line? And then we got to talk about Eagles fandom, and we have 4 fandom-related questions to get into today. What do we got?
Not sure where people are on the Eagles yet, but we do have a check-in on our Phillies conversation from earlier. Mark in Hatboro says, I'm very upset at the Phillies right now, just for the simple fact they had to wait to get a manager fired, and they could have been playing this good of baseball all along, and now they just decided to turn it on. Like, you've been good this whole time, and what, you just didn't feel like showing it?
It's why they should have made changes after last season.
That's why good club was so stupid.
Yeah.
You got a good club. Got a good club.
They do have talent on the roster. Nobody's denying that. Even as down as I was this offseason, 92 wins. I thought they'd win the NL East. Let's see if they can still do that. But it's just about the big picture, which is the World Series. When you go into – dude, I talked to Johnny. We had a whole show on it. When John Middleton was talking about that guy, Harry Callis – the one that bothered me from a baseball standpoint was when he dropped the same messaging that Dombrowski dropped in October about we were 1 throw away, 1 pitch away, 1 hit away. And he was saying that the week of opening day. That's not a great message to hear from your owner, not just manager or assistant manager or bullpen coach. The owner of the team was content. And when that's the message coming on down, I hated that.
Rob Thompson should have been gone after that Dodgers series.
He had a really bad series.
He was atrocious in the Dodgers series. He should have been gone.
A lot of the roster should have been different.
Yes, they decided to play it content. They decided to go, oh no, just stick with what we got. And we got a good club. And it showed. The team needed a shakeup. Now they got the shakeup. They're still very talented. We all picked them to make the playoffs this year. We all knew they have the talent. Now it's a question of how far can they dig out and what happens? And a week from today, I will enjoy Memorial Day, and hopefully, if it's not too rainy, I'll hit the pool, and I'll check the standings. And I'll see where it all shakes out. But I'll also see that this Phillies team is perfectly stabilized now, so they'll be fine.
All right. Fandom question number 1. Davis on a text line, voice memos, phone call, 610-632-0975. YouTube, as always, as well. The PGA Championship at Aronimink yesterday finished. You were at the final round.
It was fantastic.
Your picture looked great. The spot that you got the 18th.
Well, we were at 18, but we bounced around a lot. And the thing was, it was amazing. They did. I've been to a lot of majors. I've been to a lot of Masters. I've been to a lot of things. That was the best job I have ever seen for a major championship. The Masters is a zoo,
right?
Like it's a zoo. It was as great a job as I've ever seen. Everybody out at Aronimink, I don't pronounce the second N because I'm from Delco. Everybody out there did a spectacular job. They should be so proud of themselves because it was a show. And the golfers were thrilled. They had a wonderful time and really enjoyed it. And you could get right up on the practice where they're practice putting. You could get right up on the areas of the golfers. I couldn't believe the access that people got. And they were having a great time. They loved the fans. They loved the interactions. It was a really, really great week and a shining star for Newtown Square.
Beautiful.
It was great.
Now, one of the big takeaways from the tournament was how great the environment was, the Philadelphia environment. Obviously, there's people from all over the world.
There were.
Coming to this, right? It wasn't just, let's go to Wawa and then go to the Mink afterward. Like, no, it was people from all over the world were there. But there were Eagles chants constantly flowing throughout the course of the weekend, like nonstop, especially when people – I did not know that Scotty Scheffler was a Cowboys fan.
You didn't know he was from Dallas? Well, he's from Dallas.
Texas.
So when it happened day one, I think a lot of people were like, oh, wait, Scotty's a Cowboys fan?
And it was.
So now we're going to do it every freaking hole that he golfs.
Scotty went from 4th green to 5th tee box and yesterday, and I was there as he passed through. And Scotty had he handled it. My buddy Mark was with me. He handled it with such, he was having he was laughing. He was actually having fun with it.
Which he doesn't have fun playing golf.
Because people are walking, as he's walking through, going, hey, get ready to take that L on Thanksgiving, Scotty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he literally looks at the guy and just goes like this, and he shakes his head, and he sort of laughs. He usually ignores the fans.
Right.
He usually ignores fans.
There was something about the environment,
He was actually having fun.
And it wasn't in case people don't know what the waste management, tournament is.
Which is awesome, by the way.
It's a drink fest.
I've been twice. It was awesome.
When people hit hole-in-ones, everyone sprays beer everywhere. It's not
It's awesome.
what you think of as a golf environment, which is great because I'm not a big golfer. It was really cool to see Philadelphia center stage in a different world that we're not used to in the world of golf. But, of course, there are people that will always find a problem with something. And there were people that had a problem.
The fun police were out.
With the over-chant. Not the fact that they did it, the over-chant. So coming up next, we'll discuss this a little bit more. But fandom question number 1 of 4 that we have today, can you overdo the Eagles chant? 610-632-0975. I will say it felt forced at times yesterday. It did feel forced at times.
Hold that.
We'll discuss it coming up next.
Being there, I'm anxious to hear why you say that.
It is Kincade Salciunas here on 97.5, The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
It is 6:48 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, fandom question number 1 of 4 today. Random Fandom Monday. How about that?
Did you just come up with that?
Yes, I did.
Random Fandom.
Random Fandom Monday.
Random Fandom.
Before we get back to the text line. So the chants, the Eagles chant, E-A-G, happened over and over and over and over and over again this weekend.
They did.
At the golf course at Ronamink, and it was great. It was I thought it was really fun. But it got to a point, I will say, on Sunday when I was watching a little bit, I was like, all right.
Don't tell me you're doing a Jason Dumas.
No, I'm not doing that. It was just, it felt forced after a while. Like, we've been on road trips with Philly sports.
We have been.
The Eagles chant when you're on the road is the rallying cry. You know what I mean? Just as much as Go Birds is.
Okay.
But, like, we weren't on the road. This was our backyard.
Correct.
And, like, okay, so there's a bunch of Eagles fans
Welcome to our backyard.
Yeah.
Welcome America to our backyard. And honestly, it was my backyard because that's
right.
where I grew up. It's like as if it's like the world came to pretty much my backyard where I grew up. I went to grade school at St. Anastasia. I mean, it's way great. I live like I think as the crow flies, probably 4 miles from Aronimink. I mean, I like the world came back there.
Did you
I
chime
say to you,
in?
Occasionally.
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 Because after a while, you're like, I'm not going to do it.
No, that wasn't it. It wasn't like a conscious decision to be not to. It's just that I'm not, I was more into the golf. Like
sure.
I was there to watch the golf more than I was to that. But the problem I had with it is people having a problem with it.
Yeah, like,
and
that's what I don't get.
I went after Jason Dumas last night from Channel 6
I saw it.
on social media. He's lecturing the Philly fans. By the way, this is the same man who was trying to tell us that, remember when he was out in California, that Sixer fans were planning a protest out at the Sixers facility because of the whole Ben Simmons stuff,
saga,
which was absolutely a false story, completely false. And I had a big diatribe with Jason at the time about that because it was a completely false story that was being fed by Clutch Sports. Jason, especially at Channel 6, don't lecture the Philly fans. Don't lecture them about what they need to do and how they need to be and how they need to conduct themselves. The world was in our backyard, and he's saying, Philly, you're it's sort of making a joke of it now. Bull crap. The world took notice. The players loved it. They loved it. They loved the interaction. If you went to the practice greens and you watched the players, if you watched them as they walked from hole to hole and they interacted with the fans, they loved the interaction with the Philly fans. If you listened to them talk about what they felt about the event, they loved being here. They loved the energy of Philly golf. They said it's a different energy here.
Yes, they did.
So you know what I say to you people who say, it's too much. This is too much. I want a more stately golf. Shut up. Like, just stop. Just stop. It's not, it's unique. It's different. If you want Bushwood, Bushwood, we don't do that here at Bushwood. If you want to be a stodgy old golf fan, go be it.
So
but
here's,
you know what I mean. But it's just so tired.
So this would be my response to Jason, because look, there were points where it's like, all right, I get it, another Eagles chant, but I would rather hear EAGLES. Now, look, I'm an Eagles fan, so
sure.
It's a little bit different. I'd rather hear that than the get in the hole.
Get in the hole
after every
by the way,
swing. You know what I mean?
You hear that at every golf.
Right.
You hear it at every stupid golf tournament.
Like, so that's why, like, for anybody that has a problem with the Eagles chant, I see some people in our YouTube chat that said, yeah, it was over the top yesterday. I get it. But I'd be hearing get in the hole 18 holes out of a round for how many golfers were on the final day? Like, you hear it over and over again. Get in the hole. Like, that to me, I'd rather hear EAGLES than that.
And more importantly, I hear that. We got people in our YouTube chat that feel that way. The players who are in the tournament are not saying that. So if you on your couch are bothered by it, so be it. Your vote's counted. Your vote is counted. The players did not feel that way. They loved the event. They loved the energy of the Philly fans. They loved that it was a looser atmosphere.
Yeah.
They enjoyed Philadelphia very, very much. To a man, they talked about more Philly golf. We should have more stops in Philly on the tour. They enjoyed it very much. Had a chance to catch up with Stanford Steve yesterday from ESPN with Scott Van Pelt. They were like, the Philly energy is just different. Part of it is we are who we are. We're a little louder. We're a little brasher. We're a little self-congratulatory with the Eagles chants and things like that. So be it. It's who we are. Don't be something different than you are.
Connor, your thoughts on the constant Eagles chants at the PGA Championship in Philadelphia this weekend?
Hell yeah, there weren't enough. Like, I heard them at Fenway. It's everywhere. Everywhere anyone goes, if you have something in our area that's sports-related, you're going to hear it. Here's the thing. We went for so long without a Super Bowl and being the much-maligned, punching bag of no rings. Listen, you got a great team. It's a great time to be an Eagles fan, and the more you want to celebrate that, the better for me.
We're owning it right now. What do we have on the text line? Because I know it's Fandom number 1. We have 4 Fandom questions. Do we have anything on the Eagles chant just yet on the Davis Honda text line?
Yeah. Bob and Dub C checks in and says, bring up the Delco meeting, the PGA Tour. I'm not sure if everybody was ready for that, but I love the way that the event went and how we handled it as fans.
Yeah, again,
it was fantastic.
to John's point, the players loved it.
The players
participants
loved
it.
So, I can hear, look, all the Karens that want to complain, male or female, oh, I don't like these Eagles chants. It's so over the top. You've obviously never been to PGA events. I've been to a ton, whether they're majors or otherwise. Get in the hole.
I know, it's annoying. Honestly, that's annoying as hell.
The players don't like that crap. The players enjoyed this event so much.
Especially when they scream get in the hole, when the guy shanks it 500 feet to the left and you have some knucklehead screaming get in the hole. I'd rather hear Eagles chants.
There was one where yesterday a gentleman made I forget who it was because I don't know the golfer well. He made on 5. No. Guy made a putt on 5. And he makes the putt. And we're near the 5th green. And he says, someone in the crowd, when he gets done the putt, says, I've been here all week, and that is the best putt I've seen all week. And the golfer turns, and he looks at him, and he goes, thank you.
That's
thank
awesome.
You. And he goes, thank you very much.
That's great.
He said, thank you very much. But the guy goes, that's the best putt I've seen all week. And he goes, thank you very much. And it was just really neat. But he laughed because it was like, okay, this doesn't happen at normal golf tournaments.
It doesn't.
But in Philly, it does. So all the Karens, and most of the golf Karens are people who aren't even golfers.
All right, coming up next, we check the poll of the day, brought to us by Dr. Avidan Appel, Iron Mountain Men's Health. 4 hours strong, just like your chants were 4 hours strong yesterday. Well, more than 4 hours.
Oh, they were.
Coming up next, more Phillies talk, too, because they're back above 500 for the first time since April 7th. But, Johnny, one analyst says not to make your dreams too big. Why? It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phils win all 3 in Pittsburgh. I'm Connor Thomas. The Phillies hot streak continued over the weekend. They swept the Pirates out in Pittsburgh. Phillies pitching held the Pirates scoreless for the final 2 games of the series, including complete game shutout from Christopher Sanchez on Saturday. JT Realmuto talked after that game Saturday about what makes him so effective.
The fact that he can do something different each time through and pitch guys differently, use different sequences, and then just being able to command all of his pitches, him being able to do that makes it a lot easier to navigate through the second and third time through the order.
And then yesterday, Zach Wheeler goes 7 shutout in a 6-0 win for the Phillies. They tagged Paul Skeens for 5 runs in that game as well. Now it's back home for a series with the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. tonight for Game 1 for the now over 500 Phillies. Nick Lodolo on the mound for them. Andrew Painter on the mound for us. The Sixers search for their next president of basketball operations continues. We'll keep you updated on any news we hear about that. With the NFL schedule officially released last week, next up for the Eagles will be OTAs. They start next week on Tuesday. And Aaron Rye has won the PGA Championship at Aronimink here in the Philadelphia area. Scott Lauber of The Inquirer joins us coming up at 9:05 for his reaction to the Phillies' recent turnaround. This update is brought to you by thereamteam.com. Unbeatable savings are on now with 0% for 60 months with approved credit on select Rheem air conditioners. Hurry to thereamteam.com and lock in your savings today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Philly Sports Talk, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
It is 7 a.m. here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. A lot of people chiming in on the chant.
I'm anxious to hear the feedback on this.
And there's a lot of people not in favor of the chant being done over and over and over again yesterday. There's Michael.
What's the wording on it? Yeah, I'm anxious.
So a
to
lot
hear
of it is people are anti-chant outside of Eagles games. So Michael says the chant is annoying when it's done at other Phillies sports team events, like during a Phillies playoff home game.
Okay, well that doesn't fall into this event.
Stank You Up talked about how it's cringy and annoying.
To whom?
I guess to other people.
It's not cringy and annoying to the golfers that are at the event. And I can tell you that the event was an absolute smashing success. So I just thought there were a lot of people yesterday. Now, I don't know if I would have been next to Stank You Up at the golf event yesterday, but I can tell you the people that were in attendance were having an absolute blast.
But it's more than just the event. Like, this is the conduit for a conversation that we've had many times about the Eagles' chants at other events that are not Eagles games.
Right. But, look, you're at a concert, and let's say the artist is an Eagles fan or a Cowboys fan. Isn't Post Malone's a big Cowboys fan, right? What if Post Malone is in town? Like, Eagles chants during in between songs would actually be pretty hilarious. Because you know what? He'd probably have a good time with it.
He'd play along.
He would play along. And look, that's the point that John's making. The golfers
were having a blast with the Philly crowd.
If Scotty Scheffler, let's say at one point goes, all right, guys, would you please shut up?
or was acting annoyed with it. Like, if there were golfers that were saying, like, stopped and looked around.
And the marshals would do whatever they could to put a stop to it.
There was nothing of that.
I'd like it more if that happened.
No, I don't want that. Like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want the golfers. I don't want the actual quality of the golf affected. But I was so impressed with the golfers had such – they showed more personality. Scotty Scheffler showed more personality in this tournament with the Eagles fan base. And I say the Eagles fan base because of the interactions that he was having about this. When the guy said yesterday, right in front of me, hey, get ready to take that L on Thanksgiving, Scotty. And he just turns as he's walking he gives him this, like the head shake and the sort of – he's trying not to laugh. That's more personality than Scotty Scheffler shows in any round.
And then he puts a 7-iron 3 feet from the hole because it didn't bother
unbelievable.
Him. Did Scotty Scheffler finish only 2 under because of the Eagles' chance?
Guess what? He did not play his best.
Did the Eagles' chance get to Scotty Scheffler?
I saw him miss a putt yesterday. I couldn't believe he missed. I was like, they should have had me out to Aronimink if they're going to miss putts like that, Scotty.
All right.
I could have done that.
We'll get more into this Phillies discussion because there is an analyst that's trying to temper your excitement. I don't know what I don't know what the goal is here. But we do have a poll of the day up and running. Poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avedon Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. It's always strong. I don't have to ask Connor if it's still up. I hear Bill always ask that question. I don't know why. With Dr. Avedon Appel, we have no issues. What do we got?
Our poll today, after reviewing the Eagles' schedule, what is the furthest you are confident enough to say they will advance to this season? 3 options. The NFC Championship game, which is where Johnny's at. The divisional round, which would be the step before, where, Andrew, I believe you're comfortable. And then just make the playoffs. 46% of our responders are saying make the playoffs. That is 1% higher than the 45% saying NFC Championship and only 9% saying divisional round.
I love the confidence. Divisional round, if you're going to say make the playoffs, then that's one thing. But if you're going to say the divisional round, you're a coward. So let's go NFC Championship game.
Exactly.
The one thing is, it's make the playoffs doesn't guarantee a win.
Right. You could lose in the wild card round.
Going to the NFC Championship game means you guarantee that they've either been the 1 seed and won 1 home game or they've won 2 games.
Yeah.
That's a big chasm. That's huge. A big chasm. So it shows that people are a little all over the place with this.
I don't have that same feel as you did. When you said it 2 years ago, and John Kincade meant it 2 years ago. So like this,
I mean it today.
This isn't some like radio fodder.
No. I didn't do it last year.
Right. I was with you 2 years ago. Like I was like, you know what? I could actually really see this. I just don't have that same confidence because there's so many unknowns with this Eagles team, right? Like I don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to be like without A.J. Brown because there's a lot of people outside of Philadelphia that say Jalen Hurts only has success because of the players around him. Maybe both could be true. Maybe Jalen Hurts rises to the moment, but it also helps having A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, and a top offensive line, which they did in 2024. It'll be interesting to see how it looks this year. What does the offensive line look like this year? What does the secondary look like for the Eagles this year? With Drew Makuba being again, a starting safety that's kind of unknown. If he could stay healthy, that's one thing. He hasn't really been able to do that. I have a lot of questions about this team that I don't like. 2024, I didn't have as many questions.
Okay, tell me something. Is if you were to tell me your questions about the team, tell me what the team issue you would have.
My number one question is going to be how does Jalen Hurts handle the new offense? Like, that's going to be my number one question.
Okay,
because
that's good.
there are moving parts that he, according to reports, does not like.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say to you on that. We'll talk about it more in depth during the show, but every single team that they play is facing the same issues. And I'll make the point later. But it's that's not something
Why don't you make it now?
Well, I mean, the Eagles, right? Everybody keeps saying, well, the Eagles have that new offense, new offensive coordinator. It's going to be trouble. It's going to be, you got to worry about that because they're going into the season with the new offense coordinator and we got to see how that works and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, I do not consider that to be in any way like a irrational or unfounded someone to have that concern. But what I'm going to say to you is you got to put that storyline on the shelf Because every single team that they play has the same issue.
Well, no, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay,
now.
let me make the case here, and then you can get after me. They're playing the Commanders week 1. Okay? So we're getting ready for the Commanders week 1.
Yeah.
The Commanders.
W.
So the Eagles have their new offensive coordinator, which everybody's going to be like, well, we got to see how this offense works. The Commanders will have their new offensive coordinator and their new defensive coordinator.
Eagles W.
Week 1. Then they go to Tennessee.
W.
The the Titans will have a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, and a new defensive coordinator. Then they go to Chicago,
L.
who also have a new offensive coordinator and 2 new offensive position coaches.
Yeah, but Ben Johnson's running that offense.
Right. With on all new staff under him in positions. Then they play the Rams.
W.
Where Sean has to have everybody in new positions under him. Three new offensive coach, bang, 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 around him. Every team has this that the Eagles are facing, has transition in the coaching staff.
Completely disagree with your point.
Okay, go
this.
on.
I mean,
How can you wait a minute? You can maybe say it's not as important. You can't disagree with facts.
I can, and I will. I'll allow
What
you to make the
facts are you
point.
going to disagree with?
The guys running those offenses are still. You're not instituting a new offensive system in LA.
I agree with
You're not instituting
That
a
is
new
correct.
offensive system in San Francisco or Chicago.
Yeah,
the Eagles are changing
totally new
everything.
look. Yeah.
That is correct if you're saying that there is not a new offensive system in Los Angeles or Chicago. Chicago goes into year 2 of an offense with a second-year quarterback with 3 new coaches. So, yes, I can say there's reason to be concerned there because what do we say about Jalen Hurts all the time? New offense coach. The Eagles did not change the offense for Jalen Hurts when they changed offensive coordinators. And what did we say every year? New offensive coordinator. They're not changing the offense in Chicago. Jalen Hurts didn't have his offense changed on him those years.
Right, but this year he is.
But
and
I'm
that's
saying,
different than those other teams.
but you're saying for Chicago it's not an issue. We always said it was an issue for Jalen Hurts. We talked about it being an issue. Jalen Hurts has a new offensive coordinator. They didn't change the offense
because
when we
Nick
went from Shane
Serriani can't
Steichen.
call it. It's very different here than what Ben Johnson does, what Sean McVay does, what Kyle Shanahan does. Those are teams that you're competing with in the NFC.
More importantly, every team on their schedule. Do you know how many coaching staffs that they're facing this year of the teams that they're facing that are bringing back everybody, that bring back everybody in critical positions? Every team faces this. And the Eagles, by the way, are more talented rosters than the vast majority of them. I'm not going to give the Rams. I'm not going to say they're vastly more talented than the Rams. They're not. And I'm not going to say that they're vastly more talented than the Bears. They're not.
I just need to see how Jalen handled it. Like I have no information. You're talking about fact that the first 4 weeks are new offensive coordinators and everything. I can also give you fact. I've not seen Jalen Hurts run the Sean Mannion offense yet. And I just don't know how it's going to look. It could look great.
It could.
It could look horrible. I don't think that'll be the case. There's too much talent on this team. But then again, what have we said over the last couple of years? Talent doesn't always prevail.
This is where we're at, too, though, is that you and I, even though you are not a detractor of Jalen Hurts.
No.
But
I have a lot of questions of Jalen Hurts. But
you have more questions than I have of Jalen Hurts. You have more questions.
I'm okay with the prove it year where you would rather them lock him up now.
I would. Because I think Jalen Hurts is going to. I do not want to go, as I've said it before, I do not want to go into the quarterback claw machine of the NFL. I do not want to go in and say, let's take a take a chance that there's another quarterback out there. By the way, the quarterback who's out there this offseason in the NFL, if you don't want to think about drafting a quarterback, which is insanity, of saying, yeah, let's get rid of Jalen Hurts and draft a quarterback next year. Take all those draft picks and try to move up in the draft and draft a quarterback. The quarterback who's out there next year is Baker Mayfield.
Let's go.
So that's it. So if you want to go with Baker Mayfield, you could go get Baker Mayfield next offseason.
You know that topic's coming up at some point.
That's if the Tampa Bay Bucks don't franchise tag.
Right.
Hey, Rodgers will be back available.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
my
It's
gosh.
only a 1-year deal with Pittsburgh.
And his mystery wife could be here too.
All right, what do we have on the text line about the Eagles? John's confidence with the Eagles. He is already sharpieing
And you know what?
in.
And Jalen Hurts, obviously.
Yes. You are already sharpieing in a NFC Championship game appearance for the Philadelphia Eagles.
January
What do we got,
31st.
John V checks it here on the text line. Says Jalen Hurts is so used to a new offensive coordinator that they have the upper hand when it comes to new coaching. He's done it so often. Also, the Eagles can't have a worse offensive system than they did under Kevin Patullo. So I have more confidence in this offense than questions, even with AJ leaving.
Yeah, me too. I am more confident going into this season than I was with freaking Kevin Patullo. I mean, we were talking about that being a disaster before the season even started. But, all right, are we going from they were dead first round of the playoffs to they could go to the Super Bowl? Or are we saying, hey, they could look better this year, and this is the beginning of hopefully something nice down the road? I can't go as far as NFC Championship game just yet.
Okay.
I'm happy for you. I love that you have that confidence.
I feel really great. You know what I feel good is that I always look at an organization in business or otherwise where everybody is rowing in the same direction. And one thing I do know that in a supremely talented organization, and that Eagles offense is supremely talented, is that this year they will be rowing in the same direction because they will have eradicated the me. I want my numbers. I'm upset till that happens. I'm going to create the disruption. That's gone. So that trade doesn't happen till June the 1st, but we'll talk about it with you on June the 2nd.
It'll happen after you're off the air.
You got
played this out perfectly.
It'll be traded perfectly.
All right. Phil's also a topic of conversation today. One game over 500, first time since April 7th. So over a month since they've been above 500. Magic Mattingly. John Kincaid's in love.
He is magic.
Eric Kratz, who, former Phillies catcher.
By the way, it's a good podcast.
It is actually a really good podcast. The
well
whole
done.
Foul Territory Network is becoming something pretty good. What Rosenthal's doing there, say what you want about him, but what he's doing for that network. But here was Eric Kratz talking about the Phillies. Now, when did this get recorded? I'm guessing Friday. All right, so they had not swept the Pirates yet, but they had been winning baseball games, and they were 2 games under 500 at the time. Phillies, of course, complete the sweep of the Pirates yesterday, beating Paul Skeens, of all people, to complete the sweep. This was Eric Kratz before this series started.
I think the division's out of reach. On it, we had Cano on, Jesus Cano, the writer for The Athletic that follows the Braves. And I asked him, I'm like, what do the Braves need to do, or what could the Braves do that would, get them out of this? Because they are leading the league in pitching, leading the league in hitting, and they have a 9-game lead over the Phillies. Always said you can't win it in April, but you can lose it. And the Phillies, I just think 9 games is just too much.
It's a lot.
It's insanity. And Eric, by the way, I love your podcast. So I'm not killing Eric Kratz here, but I'm going to kill him for this insane opinion. For God's sakes, it's not Memorial Day yet. And you're going, a team's out of it in the standings? For God's sakes. You know baseball, and I know he knows baseball. And I could cite hundreds of examples of teams that were not out of it in May. Come on.
So,
and by the way, what the Braves are doing is really good. And we talked about it during the offseason, and I know you were looking at it too.
Yeah,
the Braves.
I was more afraid of them than the Mets.
Oh, of course, because the Braves are built really, really well.
Yeah, their issues over the years has been
recently the injuries have been terrible.
And so they're now 32-15, 8 games above the Phils. And
do I think the Phillies can come back and get the Braves? Yes.
Yeah, because here's the deal.
Yes, I do. Do I think it? Do I know it's going to happen? No. Do I think it can happen? Hell yes, it can happen.
It's so early.
Oh my gosh.
I get what he's saying.
He's given up already?
But let's say he said they were 9 games back going into this series.
And they're still
Pirates,
9,
right?
and they're still 9, right?
8
Are they 8?
Morning.
I don't see. That's why you don't check standings.
Let's say by the end of May, they're 7 games back. So they gained 2 games of ground. That's it.
There's 7 games with June, July, August, and September
Let's
to go.
Say they gained 2 games in June, 2 games in July, 2 games in August.
And
you're right there.
And 7 games head to head.
Right.
What are we talking about? What are we doing?
Look,
have you not watched baseball? You know baseball, Eric.
I know it would be really difficult to gain 8 games, especially those 7 games against the Braves. If you lose 4 of them, and you win 3, you lost the game in the standings.
And even if you manage, let's say you go 5-2 against the Braves, Let's say you really do well against the Braves. You go 5-2. You could pick up 3 there. Like, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but to think it can happen?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
I wouldn't write them off already.
By the way,
like,
a team
it's
that's
still
had injury.
very early.
A team that's had injury issues? Do you think that injury issues aren't going to come up the rest of this year for them?
We're also not talking about the Marlins here. The Phillies have won the division the last 2 years.
Right.
Like
yes.
Right.
You don't think injury issues are going to pop up for the Braves? I do.
Now, they are
I do.
Looking at the division odds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, the Braves minus 340 to win the division. Phils are plus 380. So a sizable gap.
Of
but
course.
If
It should be
Vegas
that.
would update that in the middle of June if the Phillies were 5 games back as opposed to 8.
Absolutely. And look, is it likely? Sure. It's likely that it's really, really a tough task because of how you've dug a hole. But it's crazy town to talk about a division race being over before Memorial Day. It's stupid. Before 4th of July, it's stupid to talk about it. It makes no sense. That is surprising to me because I think Eric does. They do a really good podcast, and it is good. It is good quality stuff to check out.
Yeah,
but that's
absolutely.
nonsense.
they have like 110 games left.
Oh my gosh, it's so.
There's
that's
a
like,
lot of time.
and look what happens. Like the Braves have had nothing but injury issues the last few years. Do you not think that an injury or two is going to creep up with the Braves? Because I do.
It's not even that. Like they could go cold.
They
Like,
could.
Let's take the injuries out
right.
of it.
Like they're not going to win 110
No, but I'm saying
games
is
this year.
they've been blessed by health, Connor, that they haven't had health in the last few years. They're not going to be blessed by health the rest of the way. It's like stuff's going to happen. And when it happens, you got to be – are they going to be the same team? Are they going to handle adversity well? We'll find out.
The only thing that stinks throughout this entire Phillies run is that the Braves have not faltered at any point. Like they're still playing good baseball too, but you can't
Good baseball.
You can't count out the Phillies. You just it's too early.
Oh my gosh,
to be doing that.
I was surprised, but you know what though? He may have been he's a crafty veteran. He may have gotten exactly what he wanted.
Maybe.
He got us to talk about it.
All right. By the way, one player to give props to, Alec Boehm, 8-game hitting streak right now. A guy that I've always been very critical of.
He's earned it.
Yeah. No, but I can't
Okay, but
foresee
he's
a 6'5" third baseman hitting singles.
I understand, but he's earned it.
But 8 straight games with a hit now. He's been playing much better baseball. And look, I still don't want him in the middle of the order. He batted 4th the other day, and I was like, Donnie, what are we doing here? They won. I don't know why he was batting 4th, but they won. He's hitting the ball better, and they need him. Harper's been doing his job. Schwarber's been doing his job.
Schwarber's certainly been doing his job.
You need somebody else, right? Like, there needs to be somebody. Brandon Marsh has been playing. He's the best hitter in the world right now.
Correct.
But you need somebody of the, I'll say big names. Like, the daycare's dead. Like, these guys are now legitimate players in Major League Baseball.
Well, they're supposed to be.
And you need one of these guys, whether it's a Boehm, Marsh, or Stott, or 2 of the guys to step up. You're getting contributions from Brandon Marsh almost every single game, it seems like. You need more from Alec Boehm. And part of the reason why they sucked the first 28 games of the season was because he was unplayable.
Not anymore.
Last 8 games.
He's been doing
good
well.
for Alec
And
Boehm.
look, you take what you can get, baby steps that maybe he can find some confidence.
Really good defensively, too, in that series in Pittsburgh.
And working before games with his manager on defensive strategy. Interesting.
I think he's been playing a fine third base all year.
But he's been working on his defense, which was not as strong earlier
Magic
on this
Mattingly,
season.
man. Don Mattingly, man.
Hey, you seen the numbers? Do you contest the
No,
numbers?
I need the bit to keep going. Keep winning, Phil, so this bit continues.
No, the numbers, as I say to you, you wanted the other number. Under Sleepy Rob, 28 games, 18 errors. In 19 games in the Mattingly administration, 4 errors. Runners thrown out on base. All of a sudden now, base running
What you don't
has
know
improved.
is they just cloned 9 Don Mattingleys out there.
No, it's called...
The DNA of Don Mattingly's all over the field.
No, it's called they're working on things.
Weird thing to say.
They're actually doing things that a manager can do with a team.
All right, coming up next. Fandom question number 2. The first one was about the Eagles' chance at the PGA Championship this weekend. Number 2, I laughed at it when I saw it yesterday, but then I started to feel bad. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A 5-1 road trip for the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies' hot streak continued over the weekend as they swept the Pirates in Pittsburgh after taking 2 of 3 in Boston. Phillies pitching held the Pirates scoreless for 18 straight innings, including a complete game shutout from Christopher Sanchez on Saturday. Bryce Harper talked about what Sanchez means to the team after that win.
He's been great, man. I think he's, on 29 scoreless right now or something like that. So, super impressive. He's a dog, man. Every time he goes out there, we got a chance to win. And when he's going, it's very impressive.
Yesterday, Zach Wheeler went 7 shutout in that 6-0 win. The Phillies tagged Paul Skeens for 5 runs in that game as well. Now it's back home for a series with the Cincinnati Reds as the Phils are now back over 500. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. tonight. Nick Lodolo versus Andrew Painter. The Sixers are continuing to search for their next president of basketball operations, so we'll keep you updated on any names that are linked to that job as news continues to develop. With the NFL schedule officially released last week, next up for the Eagles in the offseason scheduling will be OTAs. They start next Tuesday, the 26th. Then Aaron Rye won the PGA Championship at Aronimink over the weekend here in the Philadelphia area. Great event there for the golf world. Scott Lauber of The Inquirer will join us coming up at 9:05 for his reaction to the Phillies turnaround to getting back over 500 and a strong road trip. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Trevor Rice on our YouTube chat, Johnny, number one Alec Boehm fan that I know.
Is he?
Praise for Boehm, not while I'm driving. I almost fainted. Look, he deserves praise. 8-game hitting streak.
No, wait a minute. Is he mocking you because you?
Yes.
Wait a minute. You got
but Trevor and I have a good relationship.
Okay.
It's all good.
No, but I mean, like, though.
Trevor's just a big Boehm fan.
He's
big Boehm fan.
Why?
I guess consistent hitter up until this season.
Okay. No.
There are people
if you
that
want to
value
say,
that.
if you want to say, yeah, but he has not been. He's not been. Let's put it this way: what they need him to be.
No, I've been ready to move on from him for 3 years now.
No, but he's been an all-star before.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like the guy stinks.
He was an all-star.
The guy doesn't do what I believe he's supposed to do at a 6'5" frame. He's a third baseman, corner infielder. That means you're supposed to drive the ball. He does not really do that all that much.
And I can't forget that the all-star season then led to a second half that was a disaster, an absolute unmitigated
and then
disaster.
He has to get benched in a
that he had to
playoff
get benched
game
because his own teammates had to go to the manager and say, bench him.
But yes, Trevor. Praise for Alec Boehm and his 8-game hitting streak. He deserves it.
And as a Brandon Marsh guy, I hope everybody who defends a player like that gets a stretch like this.
Look,
you never know.
Yes.
I say he's Mickey Mantle, modern day Mickey Mantle
Maybe
right
better.
now. Brandon Marsh, the way he's playing baseball. All right,
Let's hope it continues.
Along with our topics of the day, Eagles and Phillies related, we have some fandom questions and topics to get into once an hour. The first one was about the Eagles' chance at the PGA Championship. Over and over and over again. Like, did you love it? Did you not like it? There are a lot of people that don't like it, that it was not at an Eagles game. I look at it like, all right, this is not once in a lifetime, but not often is the PGA Championship happening in our own backyard. I was all for it. I got, toward the end, admittedly, I was like, all right, there's another one. There's another one. But I'd rather hear that than, who's in the hole? Every time they swing the freaking club.
Here's my rule on a lot of things, though, is that, and I think this should be your rule in life. If the person who is directly affected does not have a problem with something, why are you inserting yourself into it and having a problem with it? I just say, even though I will go, I really don't dig that. I don't like that. But the people who are directly involved don't have any issue with it. So I should sort of just zip it.
Same could be said about A.J. Brown on social media.
What do you mean?
Apparently nobody had a problem with it.
What do you mean apparently nobody had a problem with it?
Apparently nobody had a problem with it.
What do you mean apparently nobody had a problem with it?
Did we hear an Eagles players upset with A.J. Brown?
No, because the Eagles aren't going to make it public. You're going to get the whole story on the A.J. Brown. That is all going to come out.
That's January or June. That's June 3rd.
The Eagles organization is strong enough that they weren't going to let one man's selfishness derail everything that they were about.
By the way, congratulations, A.J. got married this weekend.
Oh, congrats,
A lot of people noticing that Jalen Hurts was not in attendance. At least there were no photos of it.
And the teammates that were there were?
Former teammate Darius Slay was there.
Okay.
I saw Devontae, I think, right? I forget who else.
Devontae was there?
I saw
No,
one
but it's
picture.
interesting.
Yeah, I saw one picture.
Yeah.
All right, another fandom. This is more topic than question. I texted you guys yesterday.
All right.
Saying, remind me, I have a Paul Skeens topic to bring
And
up.
Connor was very flippant.
Yeah, none of you guys reminded me.
That's
Thanks
pretty
a lot.
funny.
I reminded you as soon as you sent the text.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So I rewatched the game yesterday because Coop missed the game during the day and said, Daddy, can we watch the Phillies game? Which, by the way,
good. That's a great.
Hell yeah, man. He did a day trip down the shore with Christy. So
that's a
he goes,
Dad thing.
Can we watch the Phillies game? And I was like, yeah, this is live. I just pretended it was live and we were watching. And I noticed it during the rewatch.
About Paul Skeens?
When Paul Skeens was taken out of the game, the Pirates fans gave him a standing ovation.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of laughed at it because what are you giving him a standing ovation for? He did not pitch all that to his standards, of course. But to any standards.
Whoa. He didn't pitch well yesterday.
At the time, the last 2 runs were the reliever came in, gave up the 2 runs. So at the time of him exiting the game, the Pirates were down 3-0, and it was the 5th inning. And the 6th inning, but he had not recorded an out. So he was 5+, 3 earned runs at the time of him being pulled, and there were 2 runners on base. And they did the shot. And it was as if a starting pitcher had thrown 8 shutout innings at 8 1/3 and was coming out of the game, and they got the standing ovation from the Phillies faithful at Citizens Bank Park.
You're Pittsburgh, though.
And so I laugh at it like, what are you guys doing? And then I realize they have nothing. All they have is Paul Skeens and Connor Griffin, who's a very good shortstop.
Who's a baller.
20 years old. Has he
eh?
turned 20 yet? I forget. Like they have some things to look forward to, but their hockey team's about to be imploded. Their football team is so stupid.
And
going with the Aaron Rodgers
they keep doubling down on
it's
nonsense.
Dumb. Like, it's stupid. Like, they made the playoffs. Yippee-damn do. Paul Skeens is the only thing they really have.
Yes, and he'll be gone soon.
Right. Like, he's going to get traded.
He's not going to be there. He's not going to be a lifelong Pirate, and they know it.
So I know you were at the golf outing. So as I set that up, like, you didn't see it, I'm sure.
That's pathetic.
That's kind of how I took it, but
That's
I also,
pathetic.
But I feel bad because
Why?
Pittsburgh's got nothing, dude.
Like,
all they have is Paul Skeens. That's the only guy they have.
Here's what I would say: you saved the standing ovation for the performance that deserves it,
Right? I got you.
or it means nothing.
Like his previous outing, he went 8 shutout innings, struck out 10. The outing before that, 8 shutout innings, struck out 7.
That is a performance. Those are performances that deserve the standing ovation. Those are the ones that you go, damn, we just witnessed greatness. That was awesome. You don't do that for Phillies fans. Don't give Zach Wheeler standing ovations when he comes off after something like that.
No.
Because we understand baseball.
Now, I have seen in the playoffs a starting pitcher get a standing ovation even though they allowed like 3 earned runs in 6 innings, right? Like that's a quality start. It's not a great start.
No.
But playoffs is different. That was May 17th.
Wow.
And Paul Skeens gets a standing ovation they were losing. Like he to his standards did not pitch well at all yesterday.
Pittsburgh has lowered their standards.
I guess.
But they have there's no baseball standard in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's a loser move, but all due respect, they're a loser city right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have nothing going on. Like, I don't know how to react to it. I laughed. My immediate reaction was...
You laughed.
Oh, my God, that's sad.
You feel bad for them because it's what they've got, and it's where they're at. And I'll tell you, my boy, the Pony, who joined us, during the Penguins series, he's just taking L's after L's.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's mocking Philadelphia the other night when the Pirates were up 6-0. And I'm just like,
that game was so much fun to watch.
I said, Pony, you're just taking the L's left and right.
That game was a lot of fun to watch. That comeback Friday night. Like, that was great.
I turned it off and then turned it back on.
See, I'm a loser.
I turned it off, turned it back on. So there is a full admission that I was like, I ain't watching. I've had enough of meatballs. Can't handle it. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Can't handle it.
Nola was horrible.
He's terrible.
That was a bad
He was atrocious.
outing, man. They were teeing off on him. Now, hold on. We have a comment on our YouTube chat. It's the beauty of YouTube, the immediacy of our YouTube comments. You can watch the show on YouTube. You can listen on the app and the radio, you name it. Daniel chimes in. We have nothing either. What the heck are you talking about, Andrew? Come on, dude.
Are you kidding me?
If you're saying that we have just as much as Pittsburgh right now, then you must just be a Negadelphian. Because the Eagles won the Super Bowl 16 months ago.
Wait a minute.
15 months ago. The Eagles won the Super Bowl.
The Eagles have been in 3 since the Steelers have been in 1, right?
Since they won a playoff game, for all I know.
Yes. No.
When's the last time the Steelers won a playoff game?
Yes. The Eagles have been in 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them since the Steelers have won a playoff game.
They won January 15, 2017. Okay. They beat the Chiefs 18-16.
We don't need to compare the Phillies and the Pirates.
Yeah, that's not even close.
They're a city that cannot even, the NBA doesn't even want to sniff Pittsburgh.
Our hockey team's on the rise. Theirs is literally leading
Theirs is ready to be done. So unless you're talking about getting out VHS tapes and having a lecture about the History Channel as a sports fan to me, I'm not here for it.
John, I've talked about us being in a good place right now and people just not realizing it. And I get it.
We're in a great spot.
Because losing the way we have dealt with some horrific losses. All right. Like Orion Kerkering throwing it 6 feet, over JT Realmuto's head. Like we've had some horrific losses. But the fact that we have gotten to these situations, I will take over and over and over again over being a city like Pittsburgh.
And
what does Pittsburgh have to be excited about other than their starting pitcher that's not going to be on their team in a couple of years?
To me, there's nothing worse than to me, and I use this a lot for those who interact on social media, a mouthy fan base that is mouthy about ancient history. If you want to look, I respect the Steelers fan base. Big time. And I respect the Steelers' history, big time. Mm-hmm. But don't be spouting off in 2026 as a Steeler fan. I don't care about history.
No, he's not. Daniel's not.
What I'm saying is, don't spout about Penguins' history.
Right.
I don't care. It's 2026. It's not the History Channel. We're not talking about sitting there at a bar talking about the good old days with Bruce Springsteen in the corner.
Now, Daniel's saying, I mean right now.
We're better than them. What are you talking about?
15 months ago, the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Dude.
15 months ago.
Dude, Eagles better than Steelers. Flyers on the rise better than Penguins.
It's not just Eagles.
Wait a minute.
It's not just Philly versus Pittsburgh. It's just...
What is he talking about?
Like, we have it pretty good right now.
We have it really good right now,
The Sixers are the only team where you're really worried about the years down the road.
Oh, my gosh. We got spoiled brats here. It's your generation, I'm telling you. Spoiled brats.
Daniel, how old are you? Comment.
I need to know.
If you're closer to John's age, then...
Because I say spoiled brats.
Coming up next, we have today's headlines with Connor Thomas. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
I love Benari Jewelers. Benari Jewelers is so good, and one of the reasons is because you can create a relationship with a great, great business. Knowledgeable, trustworthy, and that's important when you're dealing with diamonds and you're dealing with diamond jewelry and stuff like that, because I know nothing about it. But I love being able to do business with a place that hand selects their diamonds directly from the world's premier diamond cutters. And they have these beautiful showcases that are filled with the most sought-after bridal designers. So if you're looking to get engaged, you can do that. Or if you're a guy like me who's looking to get great jewelry, great gifts, you want to get something in gold or silver or platinum, they've got them too. But if you're looking to buy a diamond, they also have the industry-leading 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Your diamond is never going to lose value when you're ready to upgrade it because of Benari's direct diamond guarantee to you. 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. So from the time you walk out the door, you know you've made a smart investment. That's standing behind your work. That's standing behind whatever you're asking your customer to buy. When it's meant to be, it's Benari. Benari Jewelers, they're the best. Whether you're shopping in Exton or Newtown Square, you're going to love them. Do a little window shopping before you go at BenariJewelers.com.
Hall of Fame.
today's headlines. You golf nuts out there.
Oh,
You guys have a great opportunity today.
an hour and 11 minutes from now, the PGA Championship shop at Aronimink, I don't say Mink because I'm from Delco, is offering remaining merchandise in the PGA Championship shop for 50% off. It is a sale from 9 to 6 today only. One day only, in-person sale, 50% off all of the remaining 2026 PGA Championship shop merchandise. The sale is open to the public. No ticket is required. You will park off of Gate 4 off of St. David's Road. So it's 3600. Put in 3600 St. David's Road, Newtown Square, in your GPS. That's where you're going to park because it is confusing. 3600 St. David's Road, Newtown Square. It's open from 9 to 6 today. Everything is 50% off. And yes, I paid full price yesterday.
Of course you did. All right, question.
Gosh,
is it worth getting the gear if you did not attend to any of the
Yes, yes. There's great gear.
I would never buy something that I didn't attend.
I agree with you.
You wouldn't?
No.
Nah.
I'm going to tell you this.
Why would I go to this place to buy something that I didn't even experience what it was even all about?
All right, I'm going to tell you that, well, okay, maybe it felt differently. If you are a Delco person, to have, a major championship there in Delco is a big deal. Now, Marion, we got, comes around, things like that. If you're a Delco person, you want to have this.
So if the Pittman
gear,
Golf Course ever hosts a major championship.
No, I mean, imagine like right in your backyard, the world's greatest golfers come and major event like that. There is great gear. For those of you who did not attend, I'm going to tell you, I've never seen more beautiful gear available for a major event ever. And that includes every Masters I've ever attended.
Oh, how about that?
Well,
I think
I'm going to do headlines, and then I'm out the next 2 hours because I got to drive over there and get me some.
Because it's awesome.
Time now for it.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. We're going to start with some NBA news because SGA has another 3 letters that his name could be held with. Same as last year. MVP for the second straight year. He became the 14th back-to-back winner of NBA MVP in the history of the league. What are your guys' thoughts?
Great basketball player. Deserving.
There's more story to it, though.
Yeah, I saw that the news broke way too early. Or is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm also just saying, like, the foul baiting and the way people look at SGA getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, he's a great basketball player. Foul baiting, be damned.
You talking about Taylor?
He's a great basketball player.
Taylor Rooks being upset?
Oh, well, yeah, Shams broke the story 12 hours before it was supposed to be announced.
I mean, I think we all had an idea. That doesn't really bother me all that much.
The thing is, though, there is a unspoken between the organizations not to do that. The news organizations and otherwise not to do that. Shams doesn't care, and that's he can live with that whether he thinks he should or not. He can live with that.
It's just funny remember how they changed the rules? It didn't mean anything.
No.
In case people don't remember, they changed the 65-game limit rule because Cade Cunningham had the collapsed lung, and they did a lot of that because of other people competing for the MVP award.
Did they get it wrong, you think?
No, I'm just saying, like, there was so much made about that. And Cade Cunningham ended up getting 2 votes anyway.
Correct.
SGA played in 68 games, so he played in the amount of games that you would have had to have played regardless. Nikola Jokic, that was another reason why they changed the rule. He ended up finishing with 65 games. So all this talk, this is so unfair, this rule. So they changed the rule, and the other guy still wins the MVP anyway. It didn't matter.
So congratulations to Shea. 2-time MVP. Now, we got a big game tonight in hockey, folks. The Canadiens and the Sabres are going Game 7. I want your pick for the game tonight. But also, with this going 7 and the Canes sweeping the Flyers, do either of these teams have any chance in the Eastern Conference Finals against that Carolina team?
Buffalo does, but Carolina will probably beat them.
Yeah.
Buffalo wins tonight, I think.
I'm all about the Buffalo beers. The story that you brought up on headlines a couple months ago, they just drink beer.
They just drink beers, man.
Like that's my kind of team to support.
They got some weird magic going on about them if they find a way.
And by the way, Buffalo is like our cousin. Like
it is.
The Bills fans, like
It's a great fan base. It's fun.
Yeah, like so go Buffalo. Like I would root for Buffalo over Montreal, and then can the Sabres take care of business against Carolina? It has nothing to do with they beat us, so I want them to lose. Just like Buffalo's got a soft spot in my heart.
Yes. Yeah, and we're anti-Canada, so once Montreal gets knocked out, that's another year. No Stanley Cup for a Canadian team. So that could happen tonight. Game 7 is this evening. And then we'll round out with something. The Cubs played the White Sox over the weekend. A nice little Chicago matchup. And while those are not the same fan bases, they did have one thing in common. This is how it sounded on the Marquee Network.
And while we have a moment here at Wright Field, the fans are able to join in unison and tell everybody how much they love Green Bay.
Oh,
the joint Green Bay sucks chant between White Sox and Cubs
That's
fans.
kind of awesome.
That's good work by them.
That's really cool. I really like that.
It is good.
By the way, does Pete Crow Armstrong get in trouble?
Oh, you might have to.
See what happened? Pete Crow Armstrong makes a jump for the ball in center field, does not get it. And there's a woman sitting, like the way they have it set up in the outfield, it's kind of like the Braves have it. I think Fenway has it on the side where you're field level, but you're behind a fence. And this woman starts heckling him, and he said some pretty bad things. Now, people are going to say she egged him on, but, like, he spoke to a woman in a way, like, don't ever do that, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't even want to say the letters.
I have no sympathy for the heckler.
I don't want to say the letters. But like,
no, I have no sympathy for the heckler ever, though.
I got you.
Yeah, it's still not a good look.
No,
for
it's
PCA.
not a good. Didn't say that.
Look.
Didn't say it's a good look. But I have no
look.
sympathy for the heckler.
Yeah, horrible look though.
But at least they know Green Bay sucks.
Yes. We know that.
Can all
right.
bond over that.
All right, coming up next. Who the hell is Jalen Hurts, John? You're talking about how they're going back to the NFC Championship game. I'm talking about how I'm up for a prove-it year. I'm all for it. You want them to get an extension now. Every article, radio segment, and TV segment, it's either you're on one side or the other. There's very few of us, John, that can walk the line in the middle. The latest story, though, is very pro Jalen Hurts. We'll tell you what next, and then we'll try to figure out who the hell he is next here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, the postseason is winding down now for basketball and hockey. We're getting to the Final Four. The only online casino and sportsbook app that I ever recommend to use during those playoffs is the BetParx online sportsbook and casino app. And you could bet golf all weekend long. I know I didn't have the winners right, but it's always fun. And you can bet more than the score. You can bet individual player performances and more, whether you're talking the basketball or the hockey playoffs, the golf, or more. Make your downtime fun time when you're using the BetParx online casino and sportsbook app. You want to play a little online blackjack? You can. New casino users, you can get 250 bonus spins on the hot online game, The Sweetest Collect 'em, plus up to $1,000 in bonus back in your first 24 hours. So you play all your favorite casino games. You're betting on playoff sports right there on your phone. The BetParx online casino and sportsbook app. There's always another way to win. You got to be in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. New users only. Terms and conditions apply. See betparx.com for details. Hey, check it out. Should you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phils stay hot. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies' hot streak continued over the weekend as they swept the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Phil's pitching held the Pirates scoreless for the final 2 full games of that series. They had a complete game shutout from Christopher Sanchez on Saturday. JT Realmuto talked about what makes him so effective after the game.
The fact that he can do something different each time through and pitch guys differently, use different sequences, and just being able to command all of his pitches, him being able to do that makes it a lot easier to navigate through the second and third time through the order.
And Sanchez certainly made it look easy. So did Zach Wheeler, who had 7 shutout in yesterday's 6-0 win. They tagged Paul Skeens for 5 earned runs in that one, the Phillies did. Now it's back home for a series with the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. tonight for the now over 500 Phillies. Nick Lodolo faces Andrew Painter. Sixers are still looking for their next president of basketball operations. We'll keep you updated on any names linked to that job. The NFL schedule release was officially out last Thursday. Next up for the Eagles will be OTAs. They start next week on the 26th of May. And Aaron Rai has won the PGA Championship at Aronimink here in the Greater Philadelphia area. Scott Lauber of the Inquirer joins us coming up at 9:05 for his reaction to the Phil's turnaround. This update is brought to you by thereamteam.com. Unbeatable savings are on now with 0% for 60 months with approved credit on select Rheem air conditioners. Hurry to thereamteam.com and lock in your savings today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Now back to Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 8 a.m. here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Good Monday morning to you. 1 week from today will be Memorial Day Monday. As Johnny and I were talking before the show today, I will continue to say the same thing I say every single year. Memorial Day weekend is the most overhyped, underdelivered 3-day weekend in the holiday schedule.
Okay, because you stay here. Preface it like be sure you add that
like
to
the
it.
Jersey. Like
if you decide to stay and make the Jersey Shore the center of your life,
right?
Yes,
because it's always 60 degrees.
If you decide
gloomy, wet.
Last time I looked, PHL, as they, for some reason, all the news stations now call the airport PHL.
Okay.
When they do stories at the airport, it's still open.
You could
and you
go
can still
for
get
a
on
trip.
a. You can still get on a plane. You can still go somewhere where the weather's nice, because it's going to be a crappy weather weekend, of course.
Yeah, it's just it's all the time,
and it's going to be 93 today, 96 tomorrow. Are you kidding me? 95 Wednesday.
I've been doing it since I was 16 years old when I could drive. I can't wait to go down the shore this weekend. And then you get there and you're like, this sucks. Anyways, enjoy your day off next week, everybody. All right, so one of our topics today is John Kincaid's reaction to the schedule release Thursday night. We talked about it Friday. And at one point, John was talking about how he could see 13 wins. And he said, I'm not there yet. But I almost want to say what I said 2 years ago. And if you're just joining Kincade and Salciunas for the first time, or you just joined us last year, or whatever, welcome. John predicted back in 2024, May of 2024, June.
May of 2024,
I forget exactly
May or
when you
June,
did it.
yeah.
After the schedule release, that the Eagles would be in the NFC Championship game. And I was with you. I actually really liked that prediction. You're saying it again this year, which I don't feel that same level of confidence, but you're saying it again this year.
I am.
And
I'm saying it with confidence. I feel good. I feel very good. They got a good club. They got a good club. I called John, and said to John Middleton, I said, can we have some wine together? I said to Dave Dombrowski, I said, look, I think they got a good club.
They got a good club.
They got a club. And I really believe they have a good club. They got a young club. They got an exciting club. And it's so funny to me, people going, where's the 1,000 yards going to come from? That seems to be the comment. Where's that 1,000 yards of A.J. Brown going to come from?
In the aggregate.
How can you have confidence? I have confidence in that. I'm like, wow, how could 1,000 yards come from? I mean, you're right. They're going to fall right off the map. This team's just going to fall right into the crapper. How about this? I think the offense will be better.
Well, I think that'll start with the coaching.
Very much.
I think the offense is going to be.
I don't think the offense is getting better because A.J. Brown's gone.
Well,
I think the offense gets better because you don't have Kevin Patullo, and hopefully the offensive line is intact.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, but still, though, his coaching's going to be better. I think we all know that coaching's going to be better. We all believe that. But you're also missing A.J. Brown. How could you be better without A.J. Brown? They will be better as an offense without A.J. Brown. I'm confident.
Right. I'm just saying I'm not saying that because of A.J. Brown's exit.
And
you're making it sound like you might be saying that.
And you are welcome to say that.
Yeah.
I am not sharing your comment. I am saying it.
All right.
They will be better without him.
I think it leads with Mannion and not.
Well, I think no. That could.
Patullo.
Well, you're right that could absolutely be.
I can't believe we went a whole year. Like, honestly, the warning signs were there. And we watched it all play out, and it was a slow death. Like, it was freaking horrible last year.
Jalen leading up to the Super Bowl. And
it was parade day, dude.
It was, and we were talking about it, and people are like, you're making too much out of that. No, I wasn't. No, I really wasn't.
That'd be a different job for him.
Yeah, really. I mean, that would be a big job. Yeah, people are like, boy, you're making too much out of that sound, but no.
No, it
really
was pretty
wasn't.
bad, man.
Really wasn't.
Let's go egg-free this year.
Yeah, no eggs, please. Now, speaking of Jalen, as we said going into the break, every time Jalen Hurts comes up in anything, bar, TV, ESPN's, Fanatic.
Sure.
There's always one side or the other. Like, there are very little people that can walk the fine line, all right? It's usually he's really, really good. All of you are idiots who does not believe that. Or he's really, really bad. He only benefits from everybody else. You're an idiot if you don't see that. Like,
correct. There's very few. There's a lack of objectivity in Jalen Hurts discussion in this town.
Yeah, and nationally.
And you
right?
can
like
look at
nationally,
it
too.
You can be a Jalen Hurts supporter like I am, and you can still point out, there's deficiencies in Jalen's game.
That's why I'm pro prove it year for Jalen Hurts. Now, Scott Loeffler, he was the quarterbacks coach with the Eagles last year. And remember, he was the former head coach and play caller in college.
And he was a Temple guy at one time,
Temple guy. And there's a lot of thoughts. Was the red zone offense, his designs? Like, there's all this kinds of stuff to it, right? But he is not on the Eagles staff anymore. The Eagles decided to part ways.
Well, Mannion had his own.
Yeah.
Mannion had his own people that he wanted to bring in, and Loeffler's not one of them. So
a writer caught up with him. I know you guys are big subscribers to the Toledo Blade.
Oh, yeah. Read it every day.
Big Toledo Blade people.
I am so thankful for the bloggers and aggregators out there that pay the money to get these.
To get the Toledo Blade?
Yeah, I went to read the article because I want to click the proper, and I'm not saying anything bad about the blogs or anything. Like, doing this industry, like, you want to give the proper person their click.
Absolutely.
So I click on the Toledo Blade, and you have to sign up. And I'm like, no.
Right.
With all due respect to the great people of Toledo, I'm not doing that. So they spoke with Loeffler, and he spoke on Jalen Hurts. I absolutely loved it. Said about his lone season in Philadelphia and working with Jalen Hurts. I love the people. Really loved working with Jalen and the rest of the quarterbacks. We've got a great relationship still to this day, and I wish him nothing but the best.
And they worked together this offseason.
He's super coachable, championship-type guy, and being able to work with him for over a year was awesome. He's a champion in every aspect of the world. He's hardworking, smart, and he's a great competitor. Now, this article, the reason why we bring it up is 1 month removed from the article that Tim McManus wrote.
Okay.
Where a lot of people read the headline in, like, the first paragraph and termed it a hit piece on Jalen Hurts, whereas if you read, like, literally the second half of the article, it was
not a hit piece.
It was praising Jalen Hurts, and
yes,
here are some of the things. He's very excited about Sean Mannion.
Absolutely.
But everybody read just, like, the first couple of lines and then ripped up the story and just wanted to attack Tim McManus. But bringing up Tim McManus for a reason, there's people that now discredit what Tim wrote because they see this from a former guy on the coaching staff. there might be people that are upset with how Jalen Hurts handles himself. There might be people that rock with how Jalen Hurts handles himself. Both can be true.
Are there people you've worked with who you really like, who you can't stand how they go about their their prep for their show? Well, we didn't have to bring names.
You don't even really like me.
But I mean, it's the idea is that this can be you can be both. You can have both. You can like somebody a lot. You can say something nice about somebody, and you can go, I don't like how they did this, or I don't like how they did that, but I really like the person. And Jalen Hurts, the competitor, I don't think anybody questions the competitor. Has anyone ever questioned his competitive nature? Jalen Hurts? I don't think so.
No. I mean, look, the questions of coachable have
has come up.
It's come up a lot.
Lane Johnson has talked about his leadership on the Dan Patrick Show.
Right.
So questions about his leadership qualities have been brought up by a teammate on a public forum on a talk show.
Yeah.
So that's fair game to say, yeah, well, that's something that can be discussed. But I mean, come on now. It's okay to say that Jalen is not great at everything. But I'm a big supporter. I personally say I've lived through enough crappy quarterback play in the franchise's history to say I'm damn happy that Jalen Hurts is here. And we do have a guy like Jalen Hurts here. And a prove-it year, that's just too strong a wording for me. I understand what you're saying.
I'm not saying prove it like you belong in the NFL. Prove it like, do you deserve the next – what would the money be?
How about this?
$60
Does he deserve to be – he deserves to be paid what a starting quarterback deserves to be paid in the NFL.
Well, he will be, whether it's here or somewhere else. Like, he will be.
Well, he deserves to be – I think he deserves to be paid it here. Like, I don't think it should be a question about whether he deserves to be paid it here. And that's just me. I understand that there are people who are questioning it. I think it's madness. Considering what – but I think a lot of fans have not lived through enough Eagles football.
So he's getting $51 million a year now. It's obviously going to change. The guaranteed money is going to go down after this season. Dak Prescott still right now, oh my God, $60 million a year. Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, all at 55. I'm not the biggest Trevor Lawrence or Jordan Love fan. Like,
does he deserve? Would you pay Jalen Hurts what the Jags pay Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, we're at that point.
You would, though.
You
wouldn't hesitate, right?
I'm doing the prove it year first. I'm doing the prove it year. I am.
Wow.
You're
willing to 2027. You're willing to be sitting here next year doing this show and saying that you went to a free agent market that has Baker Mayfield or what?
Or the draft. You got draft picks, and you should have another big one coming in when the A.J. Brown trade comes down.
So you're willing to take this Eagles roster and say, we'll go into the crapshoot of how high do you think you could get in the draft?
You got Jalen Hurts in the, second round? You never know.
But you never, you're guessing.
We want to be a quarterback factory.
Look, nobody ever thought that Jalen Hurts when he was drafted.
Prediction here on May 18th, 2026. He's going to get the next contract with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right, you're not saying he's not, and you're not saying he doesn't deserve it either.
Right.
You just want to see more. I personally say, wow, we're in a market where I don't think enough, and I'm going to say of you, have seen enough Eagles football of the lean years to know what we could have.
Here's my point.
Number 3.
It's not about what has happened in the past. It's about what's happening in the future. Like this style of offense is clearly what the organization wants to do.
That is true.
Right? Like they're
in love with the fascination of being what you see from Sean McVay.
Yeah. Like they want that. And so I don't know yet on May 18th if Jalen Hurts is going to thrive in that system. I bring this up, not disrespectfully.
You're not either. You're not being disrespectful at all. Right.
That the year they won the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts played poorly the first 4 weeks of the season. They were 2-2. So what did they do after that? The offensive lineman went to Nick Sirianni's office.
They did.
Said, hey, look at how gigantic we are as human beings, and who's the running back that we have. We need to run the ball more. And from week 6 on, they ran the ball. How many topics did you hear either here on this show, on this station, nationally? Can the Eagles keep on winning this way?
Okay.
By just running the football. Yes, because that
Remember
was
Alex Smith?
Yeah. Oh, they could get to the Super Bowl. They can't win one.
They
though.
just can't win
that
one.
Was hilarious. I can't believe you would say that. But they got to the Super Bowl primarily on the backs of the offensive line and the running back, not necessarily the quarterback.
Here is something that's fascinating to me. And it's something that, I've thought about it before. I just never put it down as far as something we talk about in the show, but it does fit now. It's obvious to me that Jeffrey Lurie as an owner has been fascinated a long time with these high-flying offenses like McVay has.
Yeah.
Like
to the point where he went to Doug Peterson after a win in Lambeau and said, you guys ran the ball too much.
After a win in Lambeau. Uh-huh. Okay, so here's what I'm just sort of fascinated with, is they want the offense like Sean McVay has. The Eagles have absolutely owned Sean McVay. They've owned Sean.
Sure.
They've been Sean's daddy. They have been Sean, and I worked for Sean's daddy. Literally, worked for his dad. So I mean, I know Sean's dad. But they've been Sean's daddy. I'm fascinated by, and the other guys on the McVay tree, for the most part, they've done really well about that, like that kind of offense. The Eagles have been more successful head-to-head with them. I'm very fascinated as to why they go, yeah, we've had all this winning, but we want to be like them. Instead of saying, damn, we're proud of who we are, and we like to be more of that. I'm just surprised why you're breaking.
Unless they think they can't continue to win by being so physical and running the ball, and that's why their offensive line fell apart last year.
That could be. And look, it's a very good theory on your part. And by the way, it's a theory that maybe has some merit.
Look, let's face it. The Eagles ran the same exact offense last year as they did 2 years ago. Like, Kevin Patullo this was the play sheet that Kellen Moore had, and he said, thank you. Let's run the exact same plays. Defenses figured it out. The beauty of a McVay or a Shanahan, those style of offenses, you pass out of run sets, run out of pass sets.
That's what I'm fascinated with, is that, and that's what I always praise about their offenses, is they're not predictable.
Yeah, like they beat the crap out of the teams 2 years ago because they were so physical up front. Defenses got smaller, and then defenses adjusted last year. Look, the tush-push wasn't as good last year. Like, defenses made an adjustment, and yet the Eagles were like, nah, let's just keep running the exact same thing.
See, I think that the offensive line was just so beaten up that the tush-push wasn't effective.
That's probably part of it, yeah.
I think that was just the injuries that they suffered were so – it was just such – they were beaten up so badly.
But why were they beaten up? Maybe was it because they ran the ball 5,000 times the year before?
Could have been. And players talk. Jordan Mailata, that was a thing that we brought up. We brought it up pretty frequently last year.
We did.
But I don't think it ever captured the masses of what we were saying. Like, Jordan Mailata, during training camp, was like, yeah, my body's not right yet. Like, he was admitting it into the regular season. Like, yeah, my body's not. And not like, I'm not at full speed yet. I still need some weeks. It was like,
Correct.
No, my body is not recovered yet.
It's the idea, though, that Jordan Mailata and his teammates, I believe, would tell you to a man that the Eagles won because of their physicality, and that's why they win, and that's why they're different, and they were very, very proud of that.
And they didn't have it so much last year.
Yeah, I never understood why would Coke want to be like Pepsi? Coke's the brand. And there was a time, and you guys are too young for it, when Coke has always been the leader, Pepsi was always the follower. And Pepsi started to close the gap, and Coke decided
Pepsi's better.
And Coke decided, never was better, and Coke decided to change its formula because the gap was closing between Coke and Pepsi. Was closing, and they decided to scrap their formula and try something different. And they literally changed their whole business model, and it was stupid. And thankfully, they were able to scrap it after just a few months and go back to the regular Coke, which became Coke Classic, and that's that whole story. It was a business disaster, maybe the biggest business disaster in the history of American business. They scrapped it because number 2 was catching up to them. So they decided to scrap what they were doing to be more like number 2 instead of just saying, we're number 1. Why are we doing this? Why would we change what we're doing?
It's clearly what the Eagles want to do.
I swear to you, I don't understand it.
But we've lauded this team and this organization for being non-complacent. Like, they refuse to just sit around. They make the moves before other people think they should. They are on the cutting edge of doing what they should be doing.
Yeah, the league values linebackers again. So what are the Eagles going to do? Start throwing the football again.
Yeah. So
can Jalen do it is the question.
Like, do you consider, Connor, though, do you consider something cutting edge when you're copying someone else? I don't.
No,
I consider
maybe
cutting
that wasn't
edge.
the right word.
That's what I'm sort of saying is that you're copying. You're worried about copying someone else and what they're doing when you've been a market leader. When you're a market leader, let everybody else follow you. Let everybody else let them sniff your fumes.
I also trust this organization under Lurie, Howie Roseman, the guys making the decisions. I trust them to know whether or not that change should be made. I don't think it's purely based on an ego thing for them. Now, that may be a part of it, but I trust them to know what changes, like, in direction need to be made with this team. I do. And if that's throwing the ball more with what they see with the modern NFL, they have that right with the success they've had in their tenure.
And we'll see if the quarterback can do it. And I think that's why the contract situation is the way the contract situation is. What do we have as the poll of the day? Brought to us by Dr. Avedon Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. John Kincade. He's all pulled up after Thursday's schedule release, and it has continued to get stronger.
Yes.
Because you said it. They're going to the title game this year. What do we got?
After reviewing the Eagles' schedule, what is the furthest you are confident enough to say the Eagles will advance to this season? 3 options: NFC Championship game, divisional round, or just make the playoffs. 46% are saying make the playoffs, 42% saying NFC Championship game, and only 12% saying divisional round.
Yeah, last year I was a coward for setting the bar at NFC title game. Now I'm the coward for saying divisional round.
You're just always a step behind, man.
I guess, but you would have taken an NFC Championship game appearance last year.
Yeah,
Connor, did you vote in this?
I did.
And where'd you vote?
I voted make the playoffs.
Wow.
There's a lot of questions about this team. I don't know how you are as confident.
Here's what
I know.
I'm going to say.
I'm with you, Connor, in terms of that.
Then I'm going to say to Connor, and I'm going to ask you to do this little exercise with me. And don't do it now. Do it because we're coming up against a break. In the break, jot down for me. Tell me the teams. If you're going to tell that with all these questions, then tell me the teams that concern you that you believe can be ahead of them in the NFC.
Okay, we'll do.
Because that's what, if you're saying make the playoffs, first thing you have to tell me is you think there's somebody in the NFC East that can make the playoffs ahead of them that you're worried about.
Well, no, I'm just saying they can win the division.
But make the playoffs is that simple. Then you got to tell me the other teams that you're really worried about in the NFC.
Big year for the
you.
Cardinals approaching.
They're
getting hot. Coming up next, Connor will answer that question. But also, question/topic number 3 on this random Fandom Monday. The first was about Eagles' chance at golf events. The second was about standing ovations for not good outings, which is what the Pirates fans did for Paul Skeens because they literally have nothing else to cheer for. What about seeing your favorite player flirting with the opposition when they're getting crushed? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phils over 500. I'm Connor Thomas. The Phillies' hot streak continued over the weekend as they swept the Pirates in Pittsburgh. The Phils have now made it over 500. Part of that is thanks to the pitching staff holding the Pirates scoreless for 18 straight innings, including a complete game shutout for Christopher Sanchez on Saturday. Bryce Harper talked about that performance afterwards.
He's been great, man. I think he's, on 29 scoreless right now or something like that. So, super impressive. I mean, he's a dog, man. Every time he goes out there, we got a chance to win. When he's going, it's very impressive.
Zach Wheeler, same could be said about him. He went 7 shutout in yesterday's 6-0 win, where the Phils got 5 earned on Paul Skeens. Now it's back home for a series with the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch of Game 1 tonight at 6:40 p.m. from Citizens Bank Park. Nick Lodolo faces Andrew Painter. Sixers search for their next president of basketball operations is continuing. We'll keep you updated on any names linked to the job. With the NFL schedule officially released last week, the next big date for the Eagles will be the start of OTAs. They start on the 26th, which is next Tuesday, and Aaron Rye has won the PGA Championship at Aronimink here in the greater Philadelphia area. Scott Lauber will join us coming up at 9:05, covers the Phillies for the Inquirer. We'll talk about the team's turnaround. This update is brought to you by Cirque du Soleil Lucia. Discover Lucia by Cirque du Soleil, a visually stunning world of light, rain, and imagination. Get your Cirque du Soleil Lucia tickets on the Fever app or CirqueDuSoleil.com. I'm Connor Thomas for them of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
All right, Connor, hit us up with some texts on the Davis Honda text line. You can feel the Davis difference by checking them out in Burlington. Then we'll enter or add our third random fandom Monday topic. We have been discussing the Phillies. Have they gained, regained your attention now that they are above 500 for the first time since April 7th? They sweep the Pirates this weekend. By the way, we've talked so much about them beating Skeens. We have not mentioned about Zach Wheeler and how freaking dominant he was yesterday. Last outing, he looked like vintage Wheeler. The only thing that wasn't fully there yet was the velocity. He was hitting 95 in his last outing. Yesterday, he was hitting 98 on the gun yesterday.
That to me was the hardest thing to take away from it. Was like that's the one.
Yeah.
Take that away. It's all coming back. And his third pitch, when he had guys behind in the count, they were lost.
Yeah.
They were lost.
Well, even when he was behind the count, he was fighting back because he could throw a 2-0 sweeper. That's why he's one of the best pitchers in the game of baseball. His line yesterday, 7 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. There was the one ball that was hit into the right center field gap where a fan reached over, so they originally called it a home run.
And that was the proper call, right?
No, they made the right call. Yeah, they took it away. They put Lau back at second for a double. So Zach Wheeler, 7 shutout innings yesterday en route to the Phillies win, and now they're above 500. So have the Phillies regained your attention? And John Kincade has the Eagles going to the NFC Championship game as of May 18th, 2026.
Yep.
John Kincade is penciling them in for January 31st.
January 31st. It's the 6:30 game. So I don't know if what your plans are that Sunday, but you got to make plans. January 31st, 6:30 NFC title game. The Birds are in it.
All right. What do we got on the text line, Connor?
All right, so we have a check-in here on the Jalen Hurts conversation we were just having, and this texter says, you're absolutely crazy if you don't think Jalen Hurts should get a contract and be here for another 5 years minimum. There's no discussion about that. He's the best option. He's amazing.
No. There's no discussion of him getting a contract extension. That's why this discussion exists. Because there is no – have you heard a report from anybody? Man, we are reporting on Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini 7 times a week. There are 7 days in a week. Have you heard a single Eagles are working toward a contract with Jalen Hurts? Quite frankly, you've heard the opposite. D-Gun? No.
We've heard the opposite.
Jeff McClain on his podcast? No. Adam Schefter with us? No.
Right.
No need to yet is what Shefty was saying. But in terms of how the NFL works, 2 years deals really means 1 year deal.
Correct.
And if there's no guaranteed or lack of guaranteed money in a following season, usually those conversations start happening. There have been none.
None at all.
So that's why there is a conversation.
But I think it's crazy. I think it is crazy, and I told you, and it's just a difference of opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's crazy that anyone even uses the term prove-it year for Jalen Hurts. Because I'll hold up any of the quarterbacks in the NFL and just say to me, give me the prove-it year for who? Who are the quarterbacks that should never – Patrick Mahomes should never have a prove-it year attached to his name.
Yeah.
I believe, Josh, I don't think that there should ever be – we should be talking about that there should be any discussions in – we'll go Cincinnati, Buffalo. Well, even Cincinnati.
No, I can't even go Cincinnati. Dude, I really love Joe Burrow, the quarterback. If I'm a member of the Bengals front office, if he can't stay healthy, which has been one of his issues, then why would you
that's right, exactly.
pay him $60? Because at some point, quarterbacks will be making $60 million.
I think he's as dependable as it comes, though, to Jalen Hurts. I don't know. I can't get over and I do think it's that people have not experienced enough Eagles football. They don't realize how crappy it can be. The quarterback position can be in this town.
Could be. All right, what else we got?
We also have a check-in on the Phillies. Steve says the Phillies are playing good now, but they have made up no ground in the division with the Braves still 8 games ahead of them. I do worry if the division is already over.
All right, and
why?
And look, here's the deal. If that's the case, you guys remember that it's not what it used to be when only division teams made the playoffs.
And
there's a thing called the wild card.
And in 2022, the Phillies were 6 games under 500 on June 3rd. 2023, Phillies were 6 games under 500 on June 3rd. They went to the Game 6 of the World Series in 2022, and in 2023, they went to the Game 7 of the NLCS. So just bottom line is it doesn't mean jack. The last 4 teams to win the National League East have not won a playoff series.
Yeah, it's bad luck.
Can't believe I'm doing this. I just checked the wild card standings.
Oh, no.
The Phillies are 3.5 games back of both the Milwaukee Brewers and St. Louis Cardinals. They're 4.5 back of the Padres.
Okay,
who are
stop.
the top wild cards.
Stop with the standings. Look at standings.
What's their magic number?
No, but what I'm trying to do is this guy's saying,
No,
man,
I'm saying it's just nonsense.
division might be out of reach. It might be out of reach. And if it is, there are still other ways to make the playoffs. All right, random fandom question number 3 on the day. On this
Random
Monday.
fandom.
Random fandom. What would we do? How would we react if we watched one of our star players, like, flirting with the opposition when they're getting destroyed? We mocked Jason Tatum for it when he was hanging out with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey after Game 7 when the Sixers beat the Celtics.
And they're smiling.
And Tatum didn't even play in the game because of his injury. A lot of happiness, smiling.
Sure.
You saw something that Anthony Edwards did yesterday that led to this Friday night that led to this discussion.
There's 8 minutes to go in the game. 8 minutes to go. Minnesota's in an elimination game at home. And they're getting crushed. There's a TV timeout. And Anthony Edwards goes over and joins the Spurs huddle and begins to dap up the Spurs players. And the Spurs players are looking at him like, yo, a-hole. What are you doing here? What are you doing in the middle of a game? Why are you over here? Like, what are you doing? He was going back to he was out. He was pulled out of the game, and they were like, the Timberwolves were like, he's done for the year. We're not playing him anymore. And he decided, I'm done. I'm done for the year. I'm going to go over and talk to the Spurs players and congratulate them on the series with 8 minutes to go in the game.
He was asked about it during his press conference. He said, quote, that moment you realize that you won't be returned to the game, so you just try to give them the respect they deserve.
No, not during a TV timeout, not during their huddle.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was a weird look. I know Dirk Nowitzki was a part of the FanDuel coverage. Like,
it was stupid.
He was questioning why that would be a thing. It's weird, right? Like, we would freak out if we saw Tyrese Maxey or Joel Embiid or Paul George. Because let's face it, Anthony Edwards is the best player. So I'm talking about the 3 big guys with the Sixers. Or any team, any sport. If the face of the franchise, because that's who Anthony Edwards is for Minnesota, if Jalen Hurts, if Bryce Harper, if Joel Embiid.
In the middle of a game.
Yeah, they go to the opposing team's bench with 8 minutes left, and you're dapping them up, saying, hey, good job, guys. That's insane. We would not handle that
and
well
I'm telling you,
at all.
I mean, it's completely unprofessional. I mean, it's just like, and the Spurs players, half of them looking at him like, dude, what are you doing here?
They were probably confused. Yeah, they're probably.
They're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And the stupid Minnesota fans, even worse, like cheering for him. Like, what are you doing? Your teammates are over there. And you're over with the opposing team?
You know what it is? It's Pittsburgh. They got nothing else going on.
My gosh.
So it's funny. You bring up this Anthony Edwards thing. So he's getting a standing ovation for checking out of a game 8 minutes left when they're getting crushed, which we would not do that here. Paul Skeens yesterday, one of our other random fandom Monday topics, Paul Skeens is walking off the field yesterday. Phillies beat the Pirates, and they actually tattooed Skeens, which, well, for his standards, they tattooed him.
They did, though.
He gets a standing ovation as he's exiting the game. He starts the 6th inning, does not record an out, couple of runs score, runners get on base. He ends up giving up 5 earned runs, and he gets a standing ovation as he's walking off the field. And I'm like, what are they doing? But it's Pittsburgh. They got nothing else going on. I guess the Twins are that bad, and they have no hope in 9 in the Vikings that Anthony Edwards is their only guy?
I truly can't understand it. I don't understand. It's now as this if you give a standing ovation for that, the standing ovation you give when you get the great performance, it means nothing. Like, it means you've taken away the meaning of a standing ovation.
And it's not like Anthony Edwards
means nothing.
There's no talks of him leaving Minnesota.
It's like giving a standing ovation to a $300 million player who should be playing well, who has his head up his backside and isn't doing anything for your franchise and is just stealing money. Like, who would come up with an idea to do something like that? No fan base should do that.
Colby Coles wants to know, would you have booed Paul Skeens? Like, if we were Pirates fans? No.
Why would I boo him?
He was exiting the game.
It wasn't a terrible outing.
He was exiting the game 5 innings.
A terrible outing? No.
He allowed 3 earned runs at the time. The reliever comes in and allows 2 earned runs. 5 innings, 6 hits, at the time, 3 earned runs.
No, that's not terrible. No.
But is that a standing ovation
By the
outing?
way, at the time when he left, it was still a quality start.
Right, but well, no, because you got to do 6 full.
You got to do 6 full,
he didn't even do a quality start. He got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
All right.
Standing ovation.
Some fans are just
by
different,
Pittsburgh
man.
standards.
That's true.
Because unless you have a VCR in Pittsburgh, you can't remember the good times.
Garrett Cole, he's pretty good for him. All right, coming up next, Jalen Hurts. You talked about Eagles quarterbacks past, Johnny. Jalen Hurts could set a franchise record this September. It'll show you how good the Eagles have been. It'll also show you how bad the Eagles used to be. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
on Connor, Kincade and Salciunas, Philly Sports Talk, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, it's 8:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Do you know, Johnny, that Jalen Hurts can set a franchise record this September?
A franchise record.
Yes. This September. So you're talking about as part
what
of our
could he get?
Part of our conversation today has been about John's enthusiasm that the Eagles will be back in the NFC title game, and then obviously we got into a conversation about Jalen Hurts because there was that Scott Leffler article that came out. Coachable, love him, blah, blah, blah. He's not with the coaching staff anymore, unfortunately. So Jalen Hurts, to your point, because you've said for those of you who are thinking about what could be next, maybe you don't remember what they used to have.
You want to get into the quarterback claw machine, go for it. When I hear draft a quarterback, I honestly, it's like leave the car running and close the garage door. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's so stupid.
Extremely aggressive.
It's so stupid. It's such a stupid strategy. It's dumb.
To kill
It's dumb.
They want to draft
no, it's dumb. It's a dumb strat. No, that is a dumb strategy. And it's a dumb strategy. Don't do it.
It's a dumb strategy if they could trade up to like a top 10 pick and maybe evaluate another guy.
First of all, when you're not going to get when teams are in the top of the draft, they're crappy franchises. Okay? They're really bad franchises. They probably have a crappy quarterback. They're not trading you their pick.
I'm afraid what you would say if I said Don Mattingly was a bad manager.
No, they're saying it's a bad strategy, so don't do it.
Himself.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there would be no cars in garages.
Don't do it.
All right. So Jalen Hurts, do you know that if he wins the opener,
when he wins?
All right, when he wins, I agree. I think they.
Are we doing W's and L's?
Well,
I got
W.
W.
W. Yeah, W. What's your record by? I have 12-5.
Andrew and I both were 12-5, Connor.
I'm between 12 and 13, so we're right in the same spot. I'll probably go 12 conservatively.
Wait a minute.
Interesting.
I
go more so 11 and 13.
Wait a minute. My mind's going to explode here. You're at 12 and 13, and you're the same guy on the mic that was telling me just a few minutes ago that you only have them making the playoffs.
They have the fifth easiest schedule in football. The schedule broke really well for them. They don't have more than 2 road games in a row. I think the Week 10 bye is the perfect place to have it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that is the benefit of the schedule. That doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily be playoff viable.
All right.
They won 11 games last year. They got smoked. Like, they were
terrible. But you say you're between 12
postseason.
and 13 this year.
That's one more game. If they had played Week 18, they could have gotten to 12.
Yeah,
and then they could have still gotten smoked in looked bad in the postseason.
Sure.
Yeah, right. If the coach had any common sense, they would have been.
Anyways, so Week 1, if the Eagles or when the Eagles win.
Thank you.
Jalen Hurts would be the first Eagles quarterback in franchise history to win 6 season openers. Not 6 in a row and be
6 season
undefeated.
openers.
6 period.
That's outstanding.
Donovan McNabb, 10 openers as a starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles.
5 and 5?
5-5.
Oh, he has 5.
Randall, 5-6 in his 11 starts on opening home openers. Jaws also 5-5. So Jalen Hurts would be the first quarterback in Eagles franchise history to start the season with a win 6 times. Now, it goes to show how successful this organization has been. Goes to show how historically not the most successful organization. I'm shocked that 5 was only 5-5, considering that being one of the best eras in Eagles franchise history.
But remember, under Andy, they slowly start.
Always start slow. And then they kick it into gear.
Yes.
Do you know the only other active quarterback to start at least 3 games on opening day without a loss is? Take a guess.
The only active quarterback to start.
The only active quarterback to start at least 3 games on opening day that is still undefeated.
I don't know. Give it to us.
Take a guess.
Josh Allen.
No.
C.J. Stroud.
No.
C.J.
I'm trying to pick someone who didn't play many.
How about Brock Purdy?
Okay.
Brock Purdy is 3-0 in season openers in his career.
Okay.
How about that? All right.
How about that?
All right. You were asked who the teams in the NFC were.
Connor, I got to hear these.
So set the premise again for what you're asking as far as the NFC teams.
I'm saying is that you have them. You said the Eagles are going to be a 12 or 13 team win, right?
Yes.
Okay. You said to me you're only picking them to make the playoffs, so you think that they could make the playoffs, but then you're not even willing to say they win a game to go to the divisional round, which Andrew says is his floor for the season. Mm-hmm. My floor is NFC title game because I think they're going to be there. So I'm telling you is who the teams you are that you consider, then you have to look at it and say, then I consider these teams right now on May the 18th better than them.
Not necessarily better, but on the same level.
Okay.
Like any of these teams, I would not be surprised if they go further on in the postseason
that's fair. That's
than
fair.
the Eagles. Los Angeles Rams, Seattle Seahawks, and San Francisco 49ers. They were the last team that I picked. The Niners were. But I do think there's a world where if they're healthier than they were last year, they still have a good enough offensive system.
I don't take any gripe with any of those three he mentioned.
All three of those teams went further than you last year.
I don't think that there's any gripe with that of you saying there's a concern with those teams. Not at all.
NFC North, you've got the Bears and the Lions. I think the Lions still have enough talent that I wouldn't be surprised. I expect the Eagles to have a better season, but I wouldn't be surprised for the Lions to win a playoff game.
2 offensive linemen to replace.
I think Bears take a step back.
I think Bears are this year's. I'll call it right now, and I'll give it to you again. The Bears are this year's Commanders.
Could very much see it.
The Bears will take the Commander. They will not fall to 5 wins like the Commanders did, but the Bears will be this year's Commanders. Book it now.
But I still really believe in Ben Johnson as that head coach, and he had a great year last year. And I think Caleb Williams is a really budding player.
I like him
in
too.
the league.
I like him too.
Yeah. And people are not going to like this next one. But the final team I have here is the Dallas Cowboys. That team's dangerous. I'll tell you that right now.
I think they're dangerous. Yeah, I think they're dangerous. They're dangerous to be better than they were last year.
Yeah.
They're better than they were last year, but better than the believer?
Look, that's why this year I believe the NFC East will be toward the end. I don't think it's going to be like last year where I predicted a easy NFC East title, and it was easy. They won by 4 games. The Cowboys had the tie. Cowboys had 7 wins. I don't think it's going to be that case this year. I think each team goes up. Their win total each goes up. Yeah, the Giants had 3 wins. That'll go up easily. The Commanders had 5. That'll go up as long as they stay healthy, and the Cowboys will go up.
But I just gave you 6 teams that I believe could be on par with where the Eagles could be this year when it comes to postseason viability. That's a lot of teams you got to contend with to be saying NFC Championship.
Okay,
game.
they could be. Tell me of those who has a better pedigree than the Eagles, of those teams that you listed. Now let's do it the next step. Who has a better pedigree than the Eagles if you're talking about that you should have more faith in them than the Eagles?
I'm saying on par, Rams and Niners.
Yeah.
You should have more.
Par.
You should have more faith in the Rams than the Eagles.
On par, pedigree, success.
No, I'm saying
winning.
more.
No, I said on par.
They've gone consistently
no, but
deeper.
I said is who should you have more is what I said to you. Anybody you should have more? No.
Yeah, but having more pedigree is not the same as saying guarantee NFC Championship game.
No, I'm saying is more confidence in or more pedigree than. So there's some that. And is there any on your list that you should have less than?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah. Cowboys, yes. Go on.
Cowboys for
Anybody
sure.
else?
Cowboys.
Bears.
Uh-huh. I mean, come on.
Okay, anybody else?
You could probably say
Lions. Lions, yes.
They continuously come up.
So I'm just saying to you is the Eagles, I don't believe. I think we give our team the less benefit of the doubt.
Because we know them more.
By the way, I'd like to thank my niece, Amy. Look what she put in her calendar.
Put it in her calendar.
Her husband, Bill, my nephew, Bill, sent along the post. She already put in her calendar that the Eagles will be playing the NFC Championship game. She's marked the time, January 31st, 6:30, 2027.
I'm happy for you that you have this feeling.
Put it in there. And if you remember, I told you 2 years ago, believers believed. And then it went 2 wins further than that.
Damn
I'm
right.
telling you.
I believed you last time. I'm just not there yet.
Here we go.
All right, coming up next. The Phillies win again. And all jokes aside, what is Magic Mattingly, as I still call him Magic Mattingly, what does he do differently than Rob Thompson? Scott Lauber, who knows this Phillies team inside and out, he'll join us coming up next to talk about the complete turnaround from 9-19 to now above 500 for the first time since April 7th. He joins us next here on The Fanatic.
Got to tell you that the best part of going to Benari Jewelers is that you see all the gorgeous jewelry, but then you get the help. Because for me, that's what I need. I need the help. Because I can say, hey, it's great to hand over that box. that great gift from Benari Jewelers, it always is going to be a winner. So whether it's a birthday, whether it's an anniversary or otherwise, and I got a 24th anniversary coming up in July, Benari Jewelers is the best. Whether you're shopping in Exeter or Newtown Square, you're always going to get exactly what she wants. You're going to stay under budget, and you're going to find that they have things that other jewelry stores don't have. Let's say you're shopping for an engagement ring, guys. How about going in and knowing you're getting something that is always going to hold its value? They have their 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Your diamond guaranteed to never lose value when you're ready to upgrade it, because they will upgrade it for 110% of the value of what you bought it for. They're a direct diamond importer, so you're going to get the diamond she deserves, the ring she wants, and you're still going to stay under budget. You will love the staff there. They're so friendly, and they're so trustworthy. But more importantly, when they give you a guarantee like that, they're telling you, we stand behind our diamonds, we stand behind our customer service. You're going to get something that is just for her, something that's custom, something that feels personal. Benari Jewelers, they're the best. Exton in Newtown Square. Check them out online at BenariJewelers.com.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Back-to-back shutouts. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Phillies did to the Pirates over the weekend as their hot streak continued in a sweep of the Pirates out in Pittsburgh. The Phillies pitching held the Pirates scoreless for the final 2 games of the series, including a complete game shutout from Christopher Sanchez on Saturday. Catcher JT Realmuto talked after that game about what he does that makes him so difficult for hitters.
The fact that he can do something different each time through and pitch guys differently, use different sequences, and then just being able to command all of his pitches, and being able to do that makes it a lot easier to navigate through second and third time through the order.
Because of that performance, Christopher Sanchez named NL Player of the Week in Major League Baseball. Zach Wheeler went 7 shutout in yesterday's 6-0 win where the Phils put 5 earned runs on the record of Paul Skeens. Now it's back home for a series with the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. tonight from the now over 500 Phillies. Nick Lodolo faces Andrew Painter in that pitching matchup. Sixers search for their next president of basketball operations continues. We will keep you updated on any names linked to the job as that continues to develop. With the NFL schedule officially released last week, next up for the Birds, OTAs. They start next week, Tuesday, May 26th. And Aaron Rai wins the PGA Championship yesterday at Aronimink to capture his first major victory. Scott Lauber of The Inquirer will join us coming up next for his thoughts on the Phillies turnaround. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Fielding, bullpen implosions. There was just one thing after another, and so much has changed, and now they're above 500.
It mattered to some of them. Others, they didn't even take responsibility for it. That's one thing I'll get on JT for stuff. JT took responsibility for it.
Schwarber took responsibility for it.
Harper did.
Harper was the only guy
Harper didn't. No, there were other guys that didn't either.
We were waiting for this.
Harper didn't. Yeah, it was crazy.
We have 2024 John Kincade again. He has not said, put it in Sharpie yet. Plans NFC Championship weekend.
I'm very close. I have as much confidence looking at just how things lay out for the 2026 Eagles as I did going into the 2024 season when I told you that you had plans for NFC Championship weekend to host a pregame show. Connor, January 31st, pull out your phone, put it on your calendar. You have plans to host a pregame show on January 31st for the NFC Championship.
Wow, you went one step further because you weren't there yet Friday.
I'm there. The Eagles will be playing on January 31st at 6:30 in the NFC Championship game.
I love that.
I am confident the Eagles are playing January 31st.
Now back to the show.
He's very confident. NFC Championship game appearance for your Philadelphia Eagles, according to John Kincade. Do you have that same level of confidence? 610-632-0975. We'll be joined by Scott Lauber. Covers the Phillies for the Inquirer. Phillies sweep the Pirates. They beat Paul Skeens yesterday. Zach Wheeler looked like vintage Wheeler yesterday. So Scott will be able to join us coming up at 9:05 to tell us about what Magic Mattingly has been doing. Has he been touching their shoulders? Has he been giving them like a special cocktail of some sort? I don't know what Don Mattingly is doing.
Well,
that the Phillies go from 9-19 to 24-23 in the matter of 6 series.
Well, I can go by Ruben Amaro. I can go by Kevin Stocker and some of the stuff they've been sharing on the broadcasts as they talk about the fact that Don Mattingly every single day is out working with players, like with Bryce Harper. He's been working on first base defense with Bryce Harper and trying to get Bryce Harper to attack defensively better at first base and play the position better and tell him how to play.
He was a pretty good first baseman before.
He was, but he's actually finding improvement at first base as far as he's teaching him things and going, here's what we need to do. We need to be a better defensive club. The Phillies, a distinctly better defensive club since Don Mattingly's been in place. Distinctly better defensive club. Distinctly better running the bases club. Distinctly better just paying attention to detail because they're actually doing more detailed planning before series. It's just an interesting thing is when a manager can actually teach too. You're allowed to teach. You're allowed to get on the field and go one-on-one and teach your players things and say, we're not just going to accept that things are going to be done half-assed.
Well, they were a talented club, man.
Very club.
You didn't need it.
Hey, did you tell Bryce anything about that? No, he knew what was wrong. Really? Interesting.
All right, well, joining us now here on Kincade and Salciunas via Zoom today, Johnny. So wave to our man Scott Lauber of the Inquirer.
Hi, Scott.
Scott Lauber joins us. What's up, Scott? Good morning.
How you doing?
We're doing great. Connor, can you please play the music? Scott, I need you to understand what I'm dealing with and have been dealing with. John Kincade, like many other people of his generation, definitely had a poster of Don Mattingly somewhere on their wall growing up, Donnie Baseball. And so now we have Magic Mattingly because they go from 9-19 to above 500
in 19 days.
And it's all because of Don Mattingly.
Well, no. It's as Scott, as I try to say, is that there is to me, attention to detail matters. Individual coaching of players matters, and I'm hearing stories that are being told on the broadcast, and I heard Kevin Stocker telling more yesterday about the individual work that's being put in, especially even defensively with guys like Bryce Harper on his first base work. I'm impressed with a manager who is very hands-on because I was offended by when a few weeks ago when they said, did you talk to Bryce about what he did wrong there? And he says, no, Bryce knows what he did wrong. I didn't have to tell him anything. I was offended by that with Rob Thompson.
So, Scott, what has Don Mattingly ultimately done different since taking over?
Well, I'll be honest with you guys, not a ton. I mean, the lineup hasn't changed much. In a lot of ways, the approach hasn't changed much. I know what you're saying, John. I've had similar conversations with some people. I'll tell you what, I talked to Bryce Harper the other day at Fenway Park, and he said, something Don Mattingly mentioned to me was, you got to protect yourself in the lineup. And we know, right? Bryce Harper came to spring training. He talked a lot about who was going to bat cleanup and how they struggled batting cleanup last year. And, he said, Mattingly basically said, look, we can't really change what we have and what we don't have. So, you take care of yourself, swinging strikes, and don't get yourself out. And that's going to be your best protection. And, Bryce said, look, it really kind of unlocked something in my mind. So, look, I'll tell you this. When Don Mattingly talks to you about something, if you're Bryce Harper, if you're someone else, it probably resonates a little bit differently because he's Don Mattingly. Bryce Harper is not old enough to have remembered Don Mattingly as a player. Right. He was 3 years old when Don Mattingly retired. But he certainly knows who Donnie Baseball is and what he represented. And I do think that there is something a little bit different when he says something to you with his background and the fact that, every few years he gets more Hall of Fame votes. But it really hasn't changed a ton in terms of approach and style and philosophy and all of that. So it's, and he'll tell you that himself. Mattingly will. He's very similar to Rob Thompson in a lot of ways. It's a veteran team. There isn't a whole lot of he's not going to flip the spread. He's not going to give the big pep talk that everybody wanted Rob Thompson to give all the time. He's not going to go beat Dallas Green. He's going to be Don Mattingly. And if maybe the message is a little bit different, it's different, but it's not a ton different. It's not 9-19 to 15-4 different. And the reason that they've put this together is they've gotten way better starting pitching, and their stars have been stars.
Right.
Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez on the pitching side, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber on the offensive side have been star players. And that's been the difference.
So, Scott, it's one thing to say that Don Mattingly has not been doing much different than Rob Thompson, and I hear you. What was Rob Thompson not doing? Because you mentioned the rah-rah speech that people wanted Rob Thompson to do. We get that wasn't his personality, but I cannot imagine that everything is okay being the message really got guys going. So you cover this team inside and out. Was there anything that Rob Thompson was not doing through the first 28 games of the season?
No. And look, it's not his fault that their rotation had a 5.8 ERA for the first 3 weeks. It's also not his fault that they ran into two scorching hot teams back to back on consecutive weeks. They played the Cubs and the Braves and then the Cubs and the Braves, and they got smacked around quite a bit. So, I asked this question of Rob Thompson on the Zoom when on the day that he was fired. I said, they've made so few personnel changes in the last 4 years. Did the message get stale? Did anything about it all get stale? And he said he never sensed that. He didn't think that his message to the players got old or got stale. But look, it has to at some point, right? It has to get somewhat stale when the roster and the coaching staff and everything is the same for 4 years in a row. And that's what it was. And to say that, he sat there and said everything's okay. I think very often Rob Thompson's message to the fans and to the public was to project calm when things were not going well. Trust me when I tell you that behind closed doors, it wasn't everything is going well, nothing to see here. He would challenge players. He would have conversations with players about this needs to get better or that needs to get better. They will all tell you that. But I do wonder whether after 4 years, you just need a new voice. And Don Mattingly was the one new voice in that room because he came here in the offseason. He was the one change to a coaching staff that had not changed for 4 years. The roster had really not changed. I mean, look, they'll go ahead and they'll say, okay, we have a rookie center fielder.
They ran it back, Scott. Let's just say it. They ran it back.
They ran it back, right? They had a rookie center fielder. They have a rookie starting pitcher. Great. They have 2 rookies. That's very important. But neither of those guys are leaders. They have a new right fielder to replace the old right fielder who was addition by subtraction. So, they ran it back. And I think after 4 years of doing that, a new voice definitely was a good thing.
And I think, too, is that part of the problem is that when you do run it back, you're telling everybody we're sort of okay with things. We're okay with the response. I think that you can't just brush off the fact that this team all of a sudden is playing amongst the best defense since Don Mattingly's taken over. They are, I believe, the second least errors in baseball. When Rob Thompson was their manager, I believe they were third most errors in baseball. Like, I can't just brush that off and go, oh, well, that's just an anomaly. That's just a weird little flip, because they were always sloppy under Rob Thompson. They appear to be a more focused team under Don Mattingly. Whether that holds or not, I don't know. Short sample size, but they just seem to be a team that's paying a little more attention to detail. Is that too strong?
Whether that holds is the most important thing you've said there. Because look, I do think that the other thing that you do when you do what they did a few weeks ago and fire the manager, not only do you change the voice, but you also sort of send a little bit of a shot across the bow, right? Like, it's a veteran team. A lot of them are making a lot of money. And I think it woke them up in the sense that, like, oh, my goodness, we just got a good man fired. We just got our manager, who we enjoyed playing for 4 years, fired. And so we better wake up, because, Don Mattingly's not, it's not like Don Mattingly's got like a 4-year contract. I mean, he's going to finish out the year, and then he's going to see where he is and how he feels, and if he wants to do this again. And maybe they bring in Alex Cora, who's the guy that Dave Dombrowski told us himself that he wanted all along, right? If it had gone according to plan, we can talk all we want about Mattingly Magic and how great the response has been. If Dave Dombrowski did this the way he wanted to, Alex Cora would be managing the team right now. And I don't know if we'd have Cora Magic. I don't know if we'd have this turnaround. Maybe it would be as bad as it was before. So it's not like this was, some grand plan all along, and like, we'll bring in Don Mattingly and they'll listen to him. I mean, I think it was like more, hey, look, let's wake them up. Let's shake it up, wake them up. And maybe, there's some pride involved here. And they say, we feel terrible about this. We got a guy we liked fired. And so we better pay more attention to detail. He doesn't have them out there doing infield drills every day, like, military style infield drills to suddenly make them better. Right. They're doing a lot of the same drills they did daily. And Bobby Dickerson leads those. Larry Bowe is a part of those drills at home. I don't think it's like the pregame process has changed a lot. It's just, I just think everything's sharper, crisper, and better, because number one, they are better than they were playing. And number two, I think they feel a little bit of ownership for what happened there.
Scott Lauber of the Inquirer joining us here on Kincade and Salciunas. Scott, I don't really remember what your expectations were going into the season for Zach Wheeler, considering we never really dealt with a situation like what Wheeler dealt with. But has he already surpassed your expectations, not just statistically, but the velocity that we saw him in Pittsburgh yesterday, too? Yeah, I mean, it's better than I thought it would be a month, not even a full month yet since he's been back. And I noticed the velocity yesterday, and look, that's not a coincidence. He was facing Paul Skeens. I think he had a little extra juice because of that. I think it was like, hey, look, I'm Zach Wheeler. I'm still pretty good. I'm not just some guy matching up against Paul Skeens today. And I think he had a little extra in the tank. I wasn't there in Pittsburgh, but I was in Boston earlier in the week, and he pitched great on that Tuesday night. And it's funny because we were talking after the game, and he said, I had nothing in the bullpen. I think I threw maybe 3 strikes in the bullpen. And then a little bit later on, he mentioned that he was walking out of the bullpen to get ready for to come to the dugout. And he kind of like took a minute to look around Fenway Park. He'd only pitched there once before. And he said to JT Realmuto, man, this is pretty cool, isn't it? And I kind of put those two things together, and I said, all right, this guy just told us that he threw 3 strikes in the bullpen and had nothing. And yet he's confident in himself, right? That he's like calm as can be walking in from the bullpen to where he's like taking it in. And I thought, number one, this is a guy who maybe wasn't sure he was going to be able to do this, especially at this level. Sure. And so he's appreciating some of the things he maybe didn't appreciate before. But number two, he knows how to pitch. Mm-hmm. And he knows what to do when he doesn't have 97. And he knows what to do when he's not throwing strikes in the bullpen. And, it's to be able to hand the ball to him and to Sanchez back to back every fifth day, every fifth day.
That's a big reason why they are where they are, and that's a big reason why they've turned it around. And if they can get Luzardo to be a little bit more consistent, and if they can get Aaron Nola figured out, and then you continue to get what you're getting out of your rookie fifth starter, it's a pretty good rotation. But it really starts at the top with the left, right, Sanchez, Wheeler, and Wheeler's been tremendous. He just has.
Did you hear Eric Kratz on his podcast talking about the fact that he thinks that the division race is over? Because I personally don't look at standings. I don't think you should look at standings till Memorial Day. And more importantly, I just think it's way too early to be shoveling any kind of dirt on any team. And I wouldn't just be saying that if the Phillies – I wouldn't be saying that if the Phillies were whatever amount of games they're up. I wouldn't be saying that. Like, what do you think about division races and truly if they even matter?
Well, that's the other point. Do they even matter? Because all you've got to do is be one of the top 6 teams in your league and you make the playoffs. It's kind of become it's easier than ever to make it. And, if you're like me and you have to care about the regular season because it's your job to care about the regular season, it really kind of makes it hard. It kind of devalues it because they don't, for my money, they don't reward the division winners enough. I know they get a bye, but then you give them this best of 5 round. And if they lose the first game at home, as we've seen the Phillies do a couple of years here, they're in real trouble right away. And that's your reward for winning your division. So, we could do a whole segment on the playoff format and, how to fix it and whether it matters. But no, you're right. I wouldn't rule them out of the division. I think last year we were looking at this the other way, right? The Phillies were the ones who got out to the hot start. The Braves were the ones who had all kinds of injuries and were buried. And it turned out that it was too much for them to overcome. The injuries didn't get any better there, and they didn't play well, and they were buried. But they weren't buried because, they had a bad April. They were buried because it didn't get better. I think where it gets tougher is that now you only play the division 12 or 13 times, whereas it used to be 19. And so you'd have 3 trips to every division city, and they'd come to you 3 times, and you'd have a lot more ability to do it head-to-head. Phillies and Braves, I don't think, play again until September. And they only have 2 more series with each other, one there, one here. So it gets a little harder to do it, but, it's not even Memorial Day yet. And, John, I agree with you. I've barely looked at the standings these last 2 weeks. I've looked at, or 3 weeks. I've paid a lot of attention to the Phillies' own record under Don Mattingly. It's 15-4 from 9-19. They're back over 500. Those are the things you look at. And now, I think, now that they're back over 500, we can start to look more at where they are in the wild card race, where they are in the division race. And the Braves are going to have a stretch. They're going to have a stretch where they go 5-15. Mm-hmm. And it's what you do during that stretch. And we won't notice it as much because it'll be buried within June or July or whatever it is. And their record overall will still be very good, but they'll go through a stretch. And then it's what you do during that stretch to determine if you can close the gap, because you're going to have to do it on your own a little bit until you see that team again. And if they're within striking distance in September, sure, they have a shot, and they should be within striking distance the next time they see them. And if they're not, okay, go and win a wild card, and you got 3 of those to win. So it's a lot easier to make the playoffs now than it used to be, which is why those odds, playoff odds percentages for the Phillies never dropped too low. Like even when they were 9-19, I don't know this for sure, but I think they were still, 25%, 30%. It was like, are you kidding? They're terrible.
Betting odds also still had them as, potential World Series winners. So Vegas never even counted them out. And people say they're the smartest ones in the world. Scott, listen, man, we appreciate the time. You're back home. Phil's begin a 3-game series with the Reds tonight, and then you got 3 games against the Guardians. Thanks as always, man. We'll talk to you again soon.
You bet, guys. Anytime.
There is Scott Lauber via Zoom, the Zoom feed today. How about that?
There you go.
So, look, it's another guy that said, look, Don Mattingly's not doing much different. It's just maybe the way they talk. I still think this turnaround ultimately has been the shockwave of getting a guy fired. Don Mattingly,
can I ask you?
Yeah.
So the shockwave is causing them to play all of a sudden now they are one of the most fundamentally sound teams in baseball?
Kick it into gear, get your act together? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, dude. It's a long season, man.
So, in other words, the old manager, they were lazy. They were not paying attention.
I think a change needed to happen after the season ended.
Because it shows you is that They were a lazy,
But
lackadaisical
I'm not saying
bunch.
they were 9-19 because, like, Rob Thompson was doing egregious managerial decisions. Like, I think they walked into this saying, we got this. And they quickly found out that they don't. And a change needed to happen. They made the right call to move on from Rob Thompson. But I don't think, like, the Magic Mattingly thing, it's funny. But I don't think he's doing anything, like, drastically different. Scott even said they're doing the same infield drills. It's just maybe a little bit more attention to detail.
Yeah, they're doing attention to detail. The players are talking about it. The managers are talking about it. It's just interesting because they're just, all of a sudden, they're now one of the best defensive teams in baseball.
Magic Mattingly.
It's amazing after being one of the worst.
Coming up next, another random Fandom Monday related question. Are you allowed to talk trash after your team's own failures? We'll get into that next here on The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies sweep the Pirates. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies' hot streak continued over the weekend as they swept out the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Phillies pitching held the Pirates scoreless for 18 straight innings, including complete game shutout from Christopher Sanchez in Game 2 on Saturday. Bryce Harper talked about what it's like having Sanchez on the mound.
He's been great, man. I think he's, on 29 scoreless right now or something like that. So, super impressive. I mean, he's a dog, man. Every time he goes out there, we got a chance to win. When he's going, it's very impressive.
He's also now the NL Player of the Week in Major League Baseball because of that effort. Zach Wheeler went 7 shutout in yesterday's 6-0 win where the Phillies got 5 earned on Paul Skeens. Now it's back home for a series with the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. Tonight from Citizens Bank Park for the now over 500 Philadelphia Phillies. Nick Lodolo is on the mound for Cincy. Andrew Painter goes for the Fightins. The Sixers are searching for their next president of basketball operations. That search still continues. We'll keep you updated on any names linked to the job. With the NFL schedule officially released last week, next up for the Eagles on the offseason schedule will be OTAs. They start next week on the 26th. That is this coming Tuesday. And Aaron Rai won the PGA Championship at Aronimink yesterday, his first major victory of his career. Scott Lauber just joined us. You can hear that back on our YouTube channel or podcast it at 975thefanatic.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
hour of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right, coming up at 10 o'clock, Middays with Marks, Johnny Marks, Sean Brace, Ray Dunn. Ray Dunn, the voice of the Philadelphia Union over the weekend. He was on the call. And how about Johnny Marks? His daughters ran a 5K.
What? His daughters ran a 5K?
A 5K.
And his daughters are young.
Yeah, one of his daughters is 7.
That's fantastic.
I don't.
That is fantastic.
7 years old. I can't even comprehend.
That is great.
What I was fat, so I don't really even know what. I don't think I could have run 3 feet.
Okay, that's
let
great.
alone 3.1 miles or however much a 5K is. So
that is great.
That's fantastic. So Middays with Marks comes your way at 10 o'clock.
Did John run it with them?
Not this year, but he did last year.
See, I love that is my, now I know it's not a big deal for a lot of people, be like 5K. I love when I do the 5K. It's like, I enjoy it. It's
accomplishment,
fun.
Man.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yes.
Time. All right. So today on Random Fandom Monday, we've had a couple of topics to discuss. Very random in terms of how would we handle it, or is this the right move? And the first one was all the Eagles' chants at the PGA Championship over the weekend. Then we got into the Pirates fans giving Paul Skeens a standing ovation after he allowed 3 earned runs and was coming out of the game with 2 runners on, nobody out in the 6th inning. He pitched 5, so he goes 5+ without recording it out in the 6th. And Pirates fans give him a standing ovation. Like, that's not a good outing.
It's incredible.
And he gets a standing ovation. Then we got into the Anthony Edwards, 8 minutes left in the game of Game 6. They're about to get eliminated from the playoffs. He's going over to the Spurs bench during a timeout because he was basically pulled from the game, so he's going to go dap up everyone. Horrible look for him to do that.
That's incredible.
So
like
now
that is too much. There are ex-NBA players here. I'm just reading in some that would say he says they would have wanted to punch their teammate in the face.
Yeah, it was a bad look. You can do that behind the scenes.
That is a guy.
You just got to play for Golden State.
Totally unaware. How can he be a leader for his own team? He's in the middle of a game. He's like over with the other team, like dapping it up. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it was weird. Now, the last one, we had the all-time, we will be able to win one of these yesterday.
Okay.
Game 7, Pistons, Cavs. So it was either Game 7 Harden.
Oh.
Or it was late series Tobias.
Well, Harden stunk.
They both sucked.
They did.
But one team had to win. So James Harden and the Cleveland Cavaliers will be taking on the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I was surprised in that outcome.
Yeah, they beat them up pretty well too.
Because Game 6 was such a lobster, and Game 5 was so weird. You know, it was a weird outcome.
But it was a typical last 3 games of a series for Tobias Harris, where he did not play well at all. Now, it's amazing. I read a lot of Detroit Pistons media and fans that weren't angry at Tobias. It was, well, he should not be the number 2 or number 3 option on a team, which is what has been talked about for years here in Philadelphia. It's not necessarily screw you, Tobias Harris. It's who is he fooling? How are we still building around Tobias as a 2nd or 3rd option on a basketball team? It was more egregious for us because he had a max contract. For Detroit, he's actually perfect for Detroit.
He's perfect for
He's not
Detroit.
getting paid a ton of money. It's a young team. He should not be one of the high options of the basketball team in Detroit, but he ultimately became one. And shocker, he melted late in a playoff series. 5 points yesterday. He was 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. His 5 points all from the free throw line. Game 6 in the win, only 6 points. Game 5 in the loss, 13 points, 1 of 7 from 3, 6 of 19 from the field. A horrible day for Tobias Harris. But can we really talk smack? Because the Sixers got swept by the Knicks.
No.
Now, the one reason why I will still celebrate his playoff failures is because the unnecessary shot at the fan base that he took in his last year, where he talked about Sixers fans being casual fans. Casual fans, they trade me for a crumble cookie, which is the cookie company that he was partnered with. And it's like, yo, dude, you've come up small every year in the playoffs. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, your last game here, you scored as many points as the cookie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like that, and that's why when Tobias was like all upset about how he was treated in Philadelphia, well, what did you do to not get that treatment? He's not the sole reason to be blamed. Joel Embiid came up small.
Did he take a lot
James
more
Harden.
bullets than a lot of the other people who came up small?
Yes, he did. Yes,
he did. Which I didn't understand. I'll never understand.
And I will always point out,
because
he was the one guy that showed up Game 7 against Boston. I'll point that out.
He was the only one because they fanboy for the people they fanboy for, and they chose to get on Tobias. They chose to pick on Tobias.
And a lot of it was also why he got a max contract. Because of the whole Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault that he got.
No, I would have done it too.
Nobody would turn down a max contract.
Oh, absolutely.
If I'd like to. Hey, John, we know you're taking. We'd love to pay you this though. We'd like to pay you so much more. No.
Yeah, I
really
don't want
shouldn't
to.
take
I don't
that.
deserve that.
So I mean, it's people don't. I always thought it was jokish, but no. Here's the rule. I can mock Cowboy fans as long as the Cowboys are not going further than the Eagles.
Right.
I can mock Commanders fans as long as they're not going further than the Eagles. When you are there's a rule the kids say. So this is I can let you in on the kids.
Oh, okay, yeah, fill me in.
Is that in the social media era, there are a lot of mean kids on social media.
Yes.
And they say don't make fun of the kids who go to prom if you didn't get asked.
Okay.
Don't be on there dissing on the kids who go to prom and saying, "Ooh, her prom dress is awful. Ooh, he's ugly."
They
he
say
looks terrible."
dissing?
If you didn't go to if you didn't get asked to prom, if you weren't going to, then don't be picking on the people who did. You're sitting at home on your couch. Don't be picking on them. Like if you don't, just leave it alone. Same thing with sports. If the team sucked, if your team you sucked that year.
Ultimately, they lost in the same round.
Yeah, don't go out.
And Tobias came up small in the final couple games of the series again.
But you're going to ignore all the other where he was fantastic for a large portion of this playoffs. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was fantastic in round one, just like he always was with the Sixers.
Detroit Pistons records, all-time records for them in a 3-game stretch.
He was great in the first round series, like he was with Philadelphia.
And
Tobias Harris against the Wizards, the Nets, you name it, he was great.
And the Pistons love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
The Sixers loved him. I mean, he was a great guy in that locker room.
No, I'm talking about
he was
this
the
Pistons
leader of
team.
this organization.
They are the kids on the Pistons. Read what they think of him. The young players in the team. They look at him as major reason why they went. Cade Cunningham talking about Tobias Harris being one of the major reasons they were able to be a 1 seed is because of the leadership provided.
They were the 1 seed with him here, too.
Yeah.
And then he
went great. It's not time for like a victory lap if you're a Sixers fan.
No.
Now, did I chuckle when I saw what happened in that game? Yeah,
I did.
A little bit.
I did. And, of course, James Harden also had a
You
Game 7
should be much more of a guy like Harden, who was brought in here as a hired gun, who came in here as a hired gun with the big reputation, who comes up small, like a small every single time.
Well, Daryl Morey's a liar. We found that out.
Yeah, but every single time he's called upon to come up big, he can't. James Harden cannot. He absolutely cannot. James Harden, Tobias Harris isn't a hired gun. Tobias Harris isn't this guy that people talk about as being a great player.
He's getting paid like it.
He is that's the NBA. He can't help that, and nobody would turn it down. James Harden's reputation is great on regular season stats. You can have it.
Well, he's 4 wins away from an NBA championship.
He doesn't
appearance.
belong with the greats of the game. He doesn't belong. Never has, never will.
Top 75 player all time, Johnny.
Never has. Again, on regular season stats. And the other players that he sits with, they have postseason accomplishments, almost all of them for the most part.
All right, what do we got on the Davis Honda text line? Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. What do we got?
We have a check-in on the Phils here. And this texter, Kate in Haddonfield, says, people are forgetting how influential Zach Wheeler is as a leader. Wheeler came back just a few days before Thompson left, as healthy return provided another spark for the team.
Yeah, I don't know how much Zach Wheeler's presence is the reason why they turned it around, but I can tell you Zach Wheeler's presence on the mound in, 6 starts now? Is part of the reason why they've turned it around.
Haven't lost a game since with him starting.
Yeah,
They've won every single one.
He is 5 starts. 5 starts this season.
Yeah, I don't think the other 4 days of the week that's going. Yeah.
But the 1.99 ERA in his 5 starts, sure.
Oh, no. That's a big deal in his starts. Sure.
Absolutely, man. He has had only one non-quality start, and it was his first outing where he went 5 innings, allowed 2 earned runs against the Braves. You would take that, right? 6 innings, 1 earned against the Marlins, 6 1/3, 3 earned against the A's, 7 1/3, 1 earned against the Sox, 7 shutout yesterday against the Pirates. He's been ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
All right, coming up next, speaking of the Phillies, can they continue this? They begin a 3-game series with the Reds, and unfortunately, this series, they don't necessarily have the pitching matchup today. We'll talk about it next year on The Fanatic.
The saves.
Stopped by Andre. Save downstairs to his right.
The goals.
Top of the air, he can tie the game. He scores! Ben Bender.
The excitement.
Back to Kevin, who scores! And it's the first career MLS goal for 16-year-old Kevin.
Philadelphia's radio home for Union Soccer. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight that may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Enjoy Wildwood summer fun at Maury's Piers with the Fanatics Deal of the Week. Right now, get one same-day ride and water park combo ticket for just $70. That's unlimited rides on all 3 piers: Surfside Amusement Pier, Mariners Amusement Pier, and Adventure Amusement Pier, and both water parks, Ocean Oasis Water Park and Beach Club and Raging Waters Water Park. Those 6 beach blocks of fun for just $70 is only available while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. Maury's Piers. This is where we summer.
This is Len Lundy of Lundy Law. Every year, millions are hurt in car accidents. The numbers are overwhelming. But if you're injured in an accident, don't feel overwhelmed. Call Lundy Law. We remove the stress and get you the maximum compensation you deserve. We hope we never meet because of an accident. But if we do, we're here for you. Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit LundyLaw.com.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 15th through the 28th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
In the heart of South Philly Stadium District, the energy never stops. This is Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Immerse yourself in a premier gaming experience with over 2,000 slots, 130 tables, and the FanDuel Sportsbook and Lounge. Indulge in award-winning dining from the prime rib to Luck Fu, sports and social, and the iconic flavors of 10th Street Market. Then turn up the night with headlining entertainment. It's your moment to win. Only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Voted best casino in Pennsylvania. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Got a car, truck, SUV, maybe even something exotic? Gimme the VIN wants to buy it. Skip the dealerships, lowball offers, and tire kickers and get a real offer in minutes. Go to GimmeTheVIN.com, enter your VIN or license plate, and get a serious offer. If Gimme the VIN can't beat a deal from CarMax or Carvana, they'll pay you $100. Sell your car fast, easy, and for more. GimmeTheVIN.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Intelligent and honest conversation for your drive home. Unfiltered with Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m.
Watch them on NBC Sports Philadelphia or listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app. This is Kincade and Salciunas. 90.
Did you steal your shirt from the closet of Johnny Marks? Because Johnny Marks has that floral shirt. But yours is not floral. Yours is like...
Mine's really not floral.
Is it palm trees or is it just lines?
It's palm trees.
No, it's palm trees.
It's palm trees. It's called, can you find something that hopefully is not going to be hot for the Dan White and Associates golf outing today, where it's going to be 93 degrees, which I'm really not happy about. I don't like wearing a hat.
I love it. Give me the heat, man.
And I got to wear a hat. I know you love it.
.com.
Yes.
All right. Phil's Reds, they begin a series today. No day off. The Phillies don't have the streaming pitching advantage. The Reds don't really have much of an advantage to themselves, but Nick Lodolo, who's a really good pitcher, has he only made one start this year? Was he coming off of an injury? Two starts.
Yeah, two.
2 starts. Has
You're
not been
asking
pretty.
me.
0-1, 8.68 ERA, but he is a very good pitcher. So hopefully they're catching him as he's still coming back from whatever he was dealing with.
Okay.
Because you don't want Andrew Painter to pitch poorly against a guy that could pitch really well.
All right.
Because that's your matchup today. Lodolo versus Painter. Painter 1-4, 6.21 ERA. Game 2, Chase Burns has been ridiculous to start the season for Cincinnati. He's 5-1 with a 1.87 ERA, 55 Ks already. He's going up against Luzardo. Now, are we getting really, really good Luzardo? Which when he's been on this year, he's been fantastic. But then there's the other Luzardo,
that
too.
has been atrocious.
Yeah, like there has been no middle Luzardo. It's either he's going to shove for 7 innings or he's going to get crushed in 4.
And that's why I did not want to commit to Luzardo the kind of money they did and the kind of contract they gave him.
And then
because he is that guy. That's exactly who he is.
And then lastly, Andrew Abbott, who's no pitcher to be afraid of, but he's going up against Aaron Nola in Game 3.
Yeah, you're seeing 2 lefties. You have your 3 most volatile starters going in this one. You've been hot. I'd be surprised if the Phillies win this series. That'd be a real impressive feat for them.
I mean, they can beat the Reds,
right?
But the pitching matchup does not.
I'll be shocked if they don't win the
Phillies.
series, though. The momentum they've got going on right now, I'd be shocked if they don't win it.
Well, they're not just going to win, 40 series in a row or
You
something.
never know,
but
Connor. Never say never.
That's right.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs on Wednesday does give me some concern.
Yeah, it's a little concerning.
A little bit of a concern.
He had 2 decent outings, and now again we're right back where we were. If we had more time with Scott Lauber, I would have asked him what you do with him. But like I know what the answer is going to be. There's
the Bagster.
You throw him out there,
or throw him out. I mean,
They're
there's
not
nothing you can do.
They're not going to do
It's
it.
too many years.
Yeah, way too. Like that's
You got
the thing.
4.5 years left to enjoy
I just
this.
don't know what they do with Nola. Like, let's say he continues to pitch like he's the last two outings: 3 2/3, 6 earned runs; 4 2/3, 3 earned runs. Like that's not a
At
quality
some
start.
point,
That stinks.
Mr. Middleton has to eat the money because
You
you
said that
can't
about
ask-
Taijuan Walker, and it took until the final year to do it.
Taijuan Walker's deal was a lot less, or am I wrong?
Average. What was he making average? Because it wasn't as many years.
10, I want to.
No,
I think Taiwan's
was it 30,
less.
30? It was.
He made 4 years, $72 million.
He made a lot less. Yes, a lot less.
20.
Yeah, like $10 million less. Nola still has
4 years left.
4 full seasons.
You got to at some point. That's a contract that's just going to be like it's terrible.
The only move is you can either do Phantom IL or you could potentially
They already
try
did that
him.
last year. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it
Doesn't
didn't-
work either.
You could potentially try him in the bullpen, but then you have to find other starters, and they have no organizational depth at starting pitching.
No, well, they got the Gage Wood, but he's
Not
single,
ready
he's
yet.
in single A. Like I don't know why you would just give him a shot now.
Would he be worse?
Could be.
You don't
I
want to
don't know.
mess. You don't want to potentially mess up the kid, right? Like, what if he comes up here and is horrible, and now he's messed up? Like, I don't know.
So you're assuming the worst.
No,
Because a lot of organizations assume the best.
Yeah.
They assume that guys are going to perform.
Well, you're not seeing a lot of guys get called up out of A-ball.
No, I got you. Just saying. Could it be worse?
It's not so much about being better than Nola. It's about what's best for him in development. A pitcher that you want to use in this rotation at some point in the future.
Yeah, right now, Gage Wood is throwing like 4. They only let him go like 4 innings.
Now you say going from A ball. I would prefer to say to you there are many players who have gone from the College World Series to go to the major leagues within a year and a half. There are players who have gone from
I
playing
would
in
say
the college.
many. That's not typical at all.
But going from the College World Series to being able to do something like that, to being that, and at that age, what is that age? You're going to the College World Series, you're playing, that means you're at least by the time you're 23, 24.
Yeah,
You're 23 or 24 years
He's not
old.
even all that stretched out. Like
Yeah,
he's
so
not a viable option.
No, but I'm saying is what I'm saying to you is a player is 23 or 24. They got there's a million players.
Right, the
that
maximum
make it to
amount of
the
innings
major
that he
leagues.
has thrown so far. He has made 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 starts for Clearwater this year. The maximum innings he's thrown is 4. The maximum pitches he's thrown
That's
is
because they
68.
don't think they're going to ever use him as a starter. Correct?
No, he's going to be a starter.
Yeah, but I thought they're looking at him as a specialty
No,
reliever.
that's the plan. Like
The
maybe short
organization.
term, but long term, they want him in the rotation.
Yeah. I mean, could they call him up in September and be a bullpen arm? Maybe. But the plan is for him to be a starting pitcher. For
You have like Alan Rangel as like your only potential call-up option.
And he stinks.
Yeah, so you're stuck with Nola.
It's
for now.
bad. It's bad.
It's a problem.
It's
Win
terrible.
the first 2.
Yeah, how about that?
Win the first 2.
And Nola pitches the matinee game too, which sucks. Yeah. He ruins the matinee game potentially.
We don't know that he's going to ruin it yet.
Aaron Nola
I said-
is an ace. That is what potentially means, Connor.
Coop's been asking me if he can go to a Phillies game, and it would have to be a day game.
And there it is, 1 o'clock on Wednesday.
And I might take him Wednesday.
It's going to be
pick him up
95
from-
degrees, though.
Yeah, well, he's fine.
You're bringing a little kid to 95 degrees?
Yeah, he likes it, man. He's like me. He hates the snow. We were talking about it yesterday. He goes, Dad, I hate the snow. I was like,
telling you.
Right there with you.
Happy
brother.
anniversary to Joe, who never cleans out his garage and the
Happy
dumpster
anniversary,
ads.
Joe.
And Liz, 35 years today.
Man, how do you do it?
Congratulations to the Amacones.
Everybody have a great rest of your day. We have Middays with Marks coming up next. Sean Brace, he's ready to go. Did he hear about the 50% off sale at the Mink Golf Course? A little too late.
Unfortunately, we paid full price yesterday.
A little too late. Middays with Marks, Johnny Marks, Sean Brace, and Ray Dunn, the voice of the Philadelphia Union for a game. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on The Fanatic.